Carlton, P. Cripps, 3 votes. Just get used to that, people. 3 votes, man. It used to be C. Judd. Now it's P. Cripps. Everyone, welcome to another Brownlow and grand final edition of Fourever Rivals. How's everyone going?
Mate, big week in footy. It's the biggest week of them all. You got the Brownlow. We'll talk about plenty. Grand final coming up, big game. And yeah, like you said, last show for the year. So exciting.
It's a big week, man. It's going to be a big show. Before we go, welcome to Mark. You decided to make an appearance, did you?
Yes, just Rocco, mate. Extremely busy the last 2 or 3 weeks, guys. So, obviously caught in screwy doors and blinds. If you want the free measure and quake, got to get in quick because starting to run overtime. But how's the weather going? Mate,
the
today
weather is
unbelievable
really
weather.
Nice during the day and then cold. And then today was raining, wasn't it? Today was raining this morning. It was flat out.
Yeah, bucketed down. Of course.
Now, we got people in the chat, of course. We got Galicchio. He was on like an hour ago, so he's been waiting. He's got nothing to do tonight. And then we got our favourite Greek. Of course, hey guys, the last show of the year. Let's make it. It's going to be a memorable one. Don't you worry. Every show is memorable. Rocco Model all the way from Perth. Cripper. It is Cripper country all the way from Western Australia. We got Lou. We've got Frank. He's always here. Massive car support. We got Jay. And then we've got Lone Wolf, of course. Again, thank you again for the $10 every week. Thanks for the great show. Even for Mark and his Bombers, who knows, we're very lucky to finish ninth next year. We're going to talk about that with membership spiking. Hopefully the Bombers members can afford it. Yes, he's already going straight out to the Bombers, mate. The Bombers, they weren't even in the news this week, except for Merritt. He done well in the Brownlow, didn't he? And then we got Bobblehead. Is Stringer still a contender? Yeah, Stringer's not a contender for Collingwood, apparently. So let's say a quick hi to Quinny, the Tiger Den.
How are we, everybody? How are we? It's like I said before, excited to be here. It's going to be a big show. Mark, happy to have you back, mate. It was weird with only 3 of us on the panel, so it looks good having all 4 squares filled up, ready to go. So I'm looking forward to it.
The Brady bunch, mate. The Brady bunch.
It looks much better with the 4 squares, doesn't it? It looks much better. We've got Wayne. We've got Hobbit Luke. I'm a bit sus on who this Hobbit Luke is, man. It's a very sus name there, Hobbit Luke. Not sure, but he's put a message. Unlucky for focus. Not enough cheap possessions. Yeah, you needed more cheap possessions. Yep, that's for sure. And we got our favourite, mate. Let's fucking go, mate. Scotty Tompkins. How are you, Magpie Manny?
Good evening to everyone. Welcome back, Mark. Yeah, I'm doing well, mate. It was a bit wet today, and it was a lovely day yesterday. But, it was a big week of footy, and, I'm feeling good. Last show of the season 2024, and, we've reached the end of the hill, eh? Now it's just a drop, isn't it? Drop into the ocean. Now that's all it is. I think we've gone through through winter, we've gone through summer, we've gone through a bit of everything. Hey, it's 4 seasons every day, and been here every Wednesdays and catching up with everybody and talking about the game and a lot of other things, and of course controversy, and then of course always referring back to many things that we've said that may turn up. And Marco, you were one who predicted it that we'd have Dusty will sell his soul, and you hit the nail on the head, my friend. So but a good evening to everyone.
He hasn't gone yet, but he's visiting. He's visiting down the Gold Coast on the beach at the moment, so he'll be very thing. We got what do we got here? We got Scotty. He's going to give a shout out to. I'm scared to say names with these people. Dom, is that a good name? Anyway, Captain of the Werribee Tigers. I'm scared they're trying to set me up. These people. So there and is Merritt going to St Kilda? That's going to be an interesting one. They're giving him the grandfather offer apparently. while we got Marco there, of course, we're only here only because of Corners, security doors and blinds, because we protect the most important thing, your family and your home. You missed it last week, but I did a good version for you, mate. So we're going to do another one again tonight.
Fantastic.
We want the song. We want the song. We want the song.
Yeah, good one. I've got the orchestra at the back, and then ding, 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 bum. All right. If you want your family to be safe, carlton security doors and blinds is the place that don't support a forever rivals and a really top mate. And don't forget to ring at 339-4848. And don't forget to ring at 339-48 and 48. Woof, woof.
Fantastic, Rocco. Yes, give us a call on 8339-4848. And we're happy to offer you guys a free measuring quote. Search, like, and follow us on Facebook. Once again, mention Fourever Rivals and the Jumper Punch for a limited time. 10% off. That is it. One more week, maybe, possibly. Maybe another year. We'll see how we go. But like anything, protect your home, but most importantly, your family. Call us on 8339-4848. Thanks.
Yeah, so definitely. And if they ring you up, you're going to look after them, aren't you, mate? You're going to look after them. So, make sure. And you were telling me today that you're just flat out. The next 3 months for you are like crazy, aren't they?
Yeah, no, it's phenomenal. It's amazing how people mentally think differently. With the spring and summer, people tend to react differently. So, if you need security doors and blinds, get it in winter. The pricing is good, but when it gets to spring, summer, pricing goes up. So get in quick and get that 10% off now. Give us a call.
10% is huge, mate. And you know what? Everyone just, I'm telling you, they love my voice. I'm telling you, Mark, over the summer, we have to get together. We're going to do a commercial, mate. We're going to do a proper commercial, a visual commercial to put up here, mate. It's going to be, we're going to fucking do it, mate. I think I want to try to run through run through one of your securities, man. I'm going to try to hit. I might put like a banner and
run through a banner. Run through a banner. Run through the banner.
I've got that little light bulb moment. Maybe I'll try and break into one of your doors, and all of a sudden you and Rocco jump in front of me and say, "You can't get through there, mate. They're carlton security doors."
We'll work out something. Rocco, there's no auto-tune there, man. That is all natural, mate. I'm telling you, mate. All right, so just a quick few things before we get into it. There is last show, I think we got TJP next week, and then we've got a new show coming up that's going to be the off-season show, and I've joined up with one of the bigs from the other station in Andy from the Monday Blues, and we're going to be doing a show called Rocco and Andy Unfiltered. So everyone get ready for that. It's going to be off season, and it's not really going to be a sports show. It's more just going to be we're just going to talk life, mate. I reckon there's a few issues out there that we just need to solve before the footy season starts. So that should be good. That should be coming up once a week. Yep, it's going to be good, mate. Andy if anyone knows Andy from Fourever Rivals, he's like a younger version of me, man. And I keep saying, mate, look into the future. This is what you're going to turn into, mate, an angry old bald man, So that should be good, and we'll let you know. And I think that's going to start in a couple of weeks. And yes, I think Scotty's right. This is how you get banned from a YouTube show. Do a show with Andy, and we're going to get banned because we're going to let loose. And the other one that's coming in about 4 weeks' time, which is big, we're preparing for it now, is this one here, the TJP 24-hour live stream. This is going to be exciting. 24 hours of, I don't know what, but it's going to be 24 hours of just fun and games and probably some tired people by the end of it. So this should be good. I think it's going to be on that weekend of the 15th or 16th, something like that. But yeah, it'll start a Saturday at about midday and then go all the way through the Sunday. We'll have guests coming through. I'm sure some of the Fourever rivals are going to pop in for a quick hello and jump on, and we'll be eating. So it's going to be a big, that's going to be huge. Can't wait for that. That'll be huge. So yeah, so there's still going to be heaps of stuff going on. The Jumper Punch channel during the off season. Yeah, so that's it. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be. We were talking. We reckon there's got to be about 20, 30 people who are going to actually tune in for the whole 24 hours, and we were kind of naming them last night. Like, I reckon Lana, I reckon Peter Bluebag, I reckon Scotty Tompkins will be there for the whole 24 hours, mate. I reckon there's going to be a few sickos like us who are just going to have the stream on for 24 hours. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. Yep, I'll be taking my up, I'm telling you. Yeah.
The P. Diddy bar.
Yeah.
Don't come and see me. Don't come and see the Essendon Football Club.
How many bottles of baby oil did you want me to bring, Rocco, for the P. Diddy party, mate?
That's gonna be the week after in a different show. Yeah.
Hey, on a good note, the positive about tonight's show is that it might be the last time, unfortunately, Manny, that you won't be able to have the opportunity to say the reigning premiers after tonight, mate. So it's been a fantastic effort all year. Pushing the Magpies there, and I just think that I can't wait now next year that we don't have to listen to this reigning premiers anymore. Thank God for that. Hallelujah.
Well, it's a nice thing to be able to say, and like everything, something's
next year they'll just be known as the team that finished ninth.
Yeah, exactly right.
That's all they're going to be known for.
Well, my apologies, Manny, but I thought I had to just bring that up, mate, just to.
That's okay. We could always sit there and say that. We could always sit there and say that the 2023 premiers, and we then can sit there and say the 1995 premiers. So
No, we don't go around, and I don't go around going, oh, we're the 99.5 premiers. Once the new year starts, it starts, mate. Not like you.
Yeah,
you kept mentioning it, but now you're going to be like Mark said. You have become not back to back. What's he become, Mark?
Back to crap. Let's go back to crap.
They were absolutely crap this year. All right. Let's get into this, honey. I think we've got some stuff to talk about. Forever footy. All right, let's do this. All right. There was a big event on Monday. What happened?
Massive.
Here we go. Dual Brownlow Medals is Pete Cripps with 45 votes. World record. 45 votes to win his second Brownlow Medal. Worthy winner. It was a good count from about 17 onwards. To tell you the truth, I didn't watch the first half. I actually think the whole stream is just a load of rubbish, man. They just go on and on. They interview people that you don't really care about. They interview wives and that. No one cares, man. Just let's get back to it. But it was a worthy winner. Let's get into it.
Yeah, well, it was a pretty one-sided count from early on. I think a lot of people probably expected a dip here and there like you get every year, but it sort of didn't come. So it was a pretty one-sided vote count, majority of it. But it was surprising to see the players that did get votes and the ones that didn't. I mean, you talk about Bontempelli. I know that was the big name that was getting thrown around. He was predicted to be one of the top three. And I think round 10, round 12, he only had like 3 votes to his name. So again, you said it perfectly before the show, Rock. All year we bagged the umpires, and then come Monday of the grand final week, we're all on their backs going, come on, and we're rooting for them. So it's funny how it all works. But yeah, no, absolutely. It's a interesting night, the Brownlow. I look forward to it every year just because it's something to watch, something to sit down and, get your head around. But it was one of the grimmer ones for me this year, watching Richmond players get absolutely no votes and reminded every week of how shit we were. So it was one of the first ones I fell asleep in a long time.
I think you got 19 votes for the whole team. Was that something like that? I think it was 5 and 5.
Yeah, our highest vote getter was 5 with Taranto and Bolton. So pretty piss poor.
The funny thing is, just quickly, you mentioned like Bonds, but what you got to understand about Bonds, I mean, who led that vote count for Western Bulldogs?
Yeah, Trelaw.
And what did he get?
Off the top of my head, I can't tell you the numbers, but he got a lot.
He got like 26 or 28 votes, right? So that's what's going to happen. You get 2 or 3 players playing well. I'll give you another one, Sydney, right? Their top 4 got 20 plus votes. So you can't expect one player to win when you're getting 4 players who are sharing their votes every single week. So that's the difference with Trelaw had such a good year that Bonds was always going to be hard for Bonds to win it. Even Lockie Neal only scored like 19 or 20 votes, whatever he got. So yeah. Marco?
Yeah, no, I watched the Brownlow. I thought it was quite disappointing, the Brownlow, but congratulations to Paddy Cripps. I think he deserved the Brownlow. I think he was the best player all year round. But I think it should be maybe named the midfielders medal instead of the Brownlow. Too many midfielders, obviously getting votes. There's a lot of ruckmen out there, a lot of backmen out there, forwards that don't get the accolade these days. I think it's a bit of a controversy type media show. I can remember a few years ago when they had the retirements on the screen, watching the TV. They had all the players there. And I noticed that they were just putting this guy playing the piano and singing a song about the retirements, but not showing us who the actual retirements were. So I think it's a bit controversial these days with the Brownlow. Get rid of it. It's all about the women, the red carpet, the dressing up, looking good, looking fine. But yeah, I think the Brownlow is becoming a bit of a boring show to watch. I fell asleep halfway through it. Even the last
too long, mate. Like it's just
too long.
It's like
you go, Rocco. The last 2 or 3 games, you'd still have them saying Essendon versus Carlton or something like that. The last 4 games, what was it? They weren't even showing the game. It was already gone.
He'd already won it, so they just quickly went through it.
Correct.
That was the other thing about it. I didn't like it, mate. They congratulated. Like, what is that? Like when he got to 9 votes in front and he couldn't lose it, they congratulated him. Then for the next round, when Dacos couldn't catch him, they congratulated him again, right? Then they went to Dacos. What the fuck is Dacos supposed to say? Like, what an interview that was, Then they go back, they quickly go through it, then they interview him. Then at the end of the interview, they interview like Walsh from Carlton. Look, what's he going to say? Like, they just, I don't know, man. They just go overboard.
It just prolonged the whole show, and it was getting boring. But I think they need to start changing the Brownlow. I think it should be a points. I think they need to get rid of the umpires and just do it as a point factor. And these days, the way the game's going, you can find out a better player, like in the positions that they're in. Like if it's a backman, if you keep, say, Curnow down to 0 goals the whole game, he should be, maybe taken as a points value and be getting 2 votes. Like, it's all about midfielders. It's all about 35 possessions. 25 possessions.
I disagree. I don't think it should go to a panel. I reckon leave it as umpire. It's been doing 100 years. Just leave it. This bit about how many possessions you get and that, let's be serious. You can watch a game. It doesn't mean because you got the most possessions, you are the most influential player on the ground. You can be a match winner in just one quarter and you deserve the 3 votes. You know what I mean? So, and then the other thing about umpires not seeing stats and that, they don't actually give them the stats, but they know the stats as they walk off. They're on the fucking screen the whole game, mate, as if they don't know who's playing well. You know what I mean? This thing about the stats is just overdone, right? They know exactly how many stats, how many goals, how many things. Being a midfielder's award, I totally agree. It's been a midfielder's award for like 50 years, man. I mean, how many ruckmen and forwards? I don't think a backman's ever won it, to tell you the truth. So, Bruce Dool was one of the best backmen ever to play the game, mate. And everyone that played against it says it. He never. I don't even think he ever scored in the fucking Brownlow, you know. So, Manny, what do you reckon? You watched it? You love it, don't you? You love the red carpet.
Look, I think it's a spectacle. I think it's something that, as Mark mentioned, it's become a huge part of the AFL calendar, and you can't take anything away behind you can't take the glamour away, because they spend a lot of money. The ladies getting dressed and looking good, and and I think it's a ratings. It's the ratings would be huge on that when that event's on. But I think it becomes boring if you haven't got like for me and for you, Rocco. It would have been for Carlton Collingwood supporters, it would have been exciting because you had a 2-horse race, and congratulations to Cripps, proven that he's a captain's captain. He's a superstar. You just sit there watching him. Even when his team's getting done, he doesn't give up. He doesn't give up. He sits there and he really, gives his 100%, behind his players, and really says, come on, we got, we might get over the line, we might not, but let's just give it that. So congratulations to Cripps, and and bad luck to Nick Dacos, and I think Nick Dacos will one day achieve that. But I just think the biggest problem is if you haven't got more than 4 or 5 players in there watching, like if you had an Essendon player and a Richmond player, or that was contending for it, then you see that's that's the excitement of it. But look, I enjoy it. My kids love it. My wife loves it. I think it's a show that's got a bit for everyone. Yeah. So
yeah, definitely. The women watch it. You know what I mean? They love the red carpet, and I just think some of the interviews in there are very cringy, and that I don't get it, man. Just like I believe you got to step back. Like, man, we're talking to people that no one really cares about. Like, I don't know, but anyway, that's what it is. As far as Cripper, with all the salty people saying, I've heard yous all. Don't worry, mate. I fucking read you. Salty people reckon that, Cripper got votes that he shouldn't have got. It happens every fucking year. So stop being salty over it. And I'll tell you one thing. It doesn't matter if he got 45, if he got 40, if he got 35 and won it. Who can sit here now and say that Cripper wasn't a deserving winner of the Brownlow? That's all that matters, mate. He was a deserving. He was the favourite. The funny thing is, the next day, what's the headline? Favourite wins, second favourite comes second. That's what it was. Exactly what everyone predicted. They predicted that it was going to be Cripper and Dacos. Some people said that it was going to be a draw and that, but it came out exactly what everyone thought. Dacos had a good year. Cripper was the most consistent through the whole year. He was the most consistent. He was a deserving winner. So anyone that think that he didn't deserve it, there you go. I'm just pouring some salt to all your salty people, right? This is it is, mate. He's just salt, mate. He's just salty. All your salty people, mate. The ones who were trying to rain on his parade, you know what? Anyone that's trying to rain on his parade, quickly, right? Anyone that's trying to rain on his parade, I've got this for you.
My gosh. I think it might be a ghost. Oh, no, it's not. It's just a bird. Bye. There's the door. Later days. Can you hear this? Let me turn it up.
That's for all you salty people, mate. Sorry, Mark, what were you going to say?
Yeah, no, you're spot on there, Rocco. He deserved it. But it is, at the end of the day, an individual award, yeah? So having 45 votes in the team just goes to show that the other players maybe didn't perform to that level, and that's why Carlton would probably scrape the 8 this year.
But mate, I knew you were going to say that. I thought Manny would have said that. But you want to know the truth? Every team did that. The only teams that didn't do that are teams like Sydney, who had the most votes for a team. And they had 4 in the 20s,
well,
right?
Sydney's playing in the grand final.
Collingwood, you might say Collingwood, but Dacos had 38, right? What was the next total? Do you know?
No, I'm not quite sure, Rock, but just looking
They're
at...
going on 8.
Yeah,
you
that's
talk
right.
about like
that's
you
why...
want to say Cribs was a one-man team. Look at that, mate. At least Walsh got 16 votes. So,
yeah, correct.
And you look at your team. Merritt got 18. Who was next?
Yeah, well,
you got Merritt, and I think Martin got 14, and then it just fell away.
Corwell and a couple of other players there, and Jay Corwell and so forth.
That's what happens, man.
That's an average. That's an average. When you got a player that's got 45 votes in the team, you're obviously relying, from what I can see, on one player.
He's the best player in the comp, mate.
He's the best. Yeah, no, he's the best player in the comp, but by that margin, sometimes makes me wonder. Whether if Cripps wasn't playing or was injured most of the year, where would Carlton be? So you got to balance it. You got to balance it, yeah. Because
and if you listen to his speeches, he said it. He said, "Work's not done, mate." He's like they got to improve to be a better side next year. Everyone knows that. That's good. No, but it's about the individual award on the night. Don't worry. Like that's a team thing now. But what you just said there, right? Let's take out Merritt out of your side.
Mm-hmm.
You don't finish 11th no more. You finish 13th and 14th, right? Because he won you a lot of games. You take out Nick Dacos out of their side, who got 38 votes. And their next one was 8 votes.
Yeah.
Their next one was 8 votes. You talk about Carlton, at least we had Walsh on 16. But you take out him, how many games are they winning? Of course you rely on one player a lot of the time. But
those votes,
if you do like what Sydney did,
but having said that, though, Rocco, Sydney and Brisbane were the 2 teams who are obviously they're playing the grand final, but they are the 2 teams who have had, I think, 4 or 5 players that were averaging in the 20s. So
if you were listening to me, Manny, to me, I actually said that.
Yeah,
I said that Sydney was the only one who had like 4 in 22, 23 and above, right?
3.
That's 3, and the rest were whatever. Brisbane had a few there too. Of course, if you get like a group of people, a span of people who are going to perform, your team's going to do a lot better because you can't rely on one person. Correct?
Of course you can't.
That's what the best teams do, mate. The best teams spread the load. You know what I mean? But in saying that, it's still just about the Brownlow this week.
That's right. Individual Rocco. That's exactly, mate. You deserved it, Cripps, mate. But sometimes
Cripps deserves 2 Brownlows. But as far as everyone wants team success.
Yeah. Well, that's the key, isn't it? Really, individual or team. So you can look at it in 2 ways and say, okay, you won the Brownlow, you smashed it really out of the park. It was getting so boring the last 4 games of the rest of the votes. But how does it reflect in the team? That's you can see it in that way too, Rock. Yeah? I see it not being a positive thing in some ways.
No, you can't say it's not a positive thing. He won the Brownlow. You can't say that. Who won it last year? Quinn?
Lachie Neale, didn't he?
Lachie Neale, and he made the grand final this year. You know what I mean? And they made the grand final last year, and he smashed it last year too. When Dusty won it, I mean, he won it with 30. He won it at the time at a record. You trying to say then you don't see it as a positive? If one of your players is killing it, He's killing it. It's got nothing to do with Cripper. What it's got to do with is the other players doing their part. That's all it is, mate. Cripper did his part. And look, at the end of the day, man, I believe a lot of our players did our part. You know what I mean? If we're going to talk a Carlton thing now, a lot of our players did their part. A lot of players did. We had Wiedering, who was all Australian. TDK at one stage had the most points in any player in the history of points. You know, you had Curnow who come third in the Coleman. You had Mackay, who kicked 49 goals. You had Newman, who was almost an All-Australian. How many more contributors do you want?
But Rocco,
you've got plenty of contributors.
But all you've done, Rocco, is you've just given us some stats of you've just thrown us some numbers. That's what you're throwing at us.
What else can I give you?
Well, but that's what I'm saying is that's all you have. You know, like I'll explain it to you because it's like the Hawthorn coach who turned around and said that there are a lot of people behind the scenes who in every club that expect to be able to play finals football, but expect to at least win the flag. And now, you know, when you're looking at a huge club like Carlton, who you guys going to be 28 years now?
But listen, man. I don't want you to. Now you're making it into like this is what shits me, man. No. I told you when I tell you to stop, shut up. What you're doing now, you brought me into this conversation, right? We were talking about Cripper, right? Yeah. What you're doing now is you're trying to rain on this bloke's parade, right?
No, you didn't bring Cripper.
Because why are we talking about the season of Carlton, right? You're trying to tell me, now you're bringing up 29 years. Like, just get over it. We're talking about Cripper. Forget about what about your side? What about your side? You had no contributors. You had one contributor this year.
Yeah, I know, but you're listening though.
Manny, we're not going to go into the Carlton season, right? That's it. We're not going to go into the Carlton season. We're talking about Cripper, mate. This is what I hate. He won the Brownlow. Just leave it, mate. It's the Brownlow. I
congratulated him about the Brownlow. No, congratulations to him. He deserved it. He's a captain's captain. What? But you then started, correct me if I'm wrong, Marco, but he did start sitting there saying about this one did this job, this one did his job, this one did his job, this one.
Because why? Wait a second. No, you're wrong there. The only reason I brought it up was because Mark said he started to bring up the Carlton team, right? That's what he did. That's what he did. So all I said was, you just said there's only one player, so I defended the Carlton team, right? That's all. If you never brought it up, I wouldn't have talked about it. So you're the one that bring it up, and now you want to talk about it, right? All I said was, this is about the Brownlow. I don't want to talk about the team.
No, but you brought up the team. I didn't bring it up.
No, Mark brought up the team.
Yeah, I brought it up only because obviously there's only one thing to say about the Brownlow is that congratulations to Cripps. So we can move on from that.
Yeah, and that's it. That's what we're talking about it. But then you went on to that. I give you something about. I defend that because you said something, and then Manny comes along and tries to fucking you're only bringing up stats because you fucking asked me to.
Correct.
Because Mark did. Okay. Well, I apologise.
At the end of the day, I was talking about Cripps, but I was trying to maybe talk about the broad spectrum about the Brownlow. I was talking about, maybe they shouldn't have, the midfielders or ruckmans, and they got into that conversation.
And I don't mind talking about that, and I agree with you. But then you went into specifically, into having a crack at Carlton. I don't think it's a good thing, and that you weren't talking about that. You were talking about. It's a midfielder's award. We know that. Yeah.
The reason for that, Rocco, was because Cripps obviously he got 45 votes. That's extreme. That's a high level of votes between that and the rest of your players.
Dacos got 38.
Who?
Dacos got 38, and the next best was 8.
If Cripps has got 45 votes and your next player has got 15, that's a big discrepancy between your top player and the second
But
tier.
all teams have got that, except for the couple of the top one, except for like Sydney and Brisbane. All teams have got it.
I might have bantered a little bit about that, Rock, about maybe not Carlton not being up there in the top in the grand final, and maybe that might be the reason. It might be the reason you're relying on just one player.
Yeah, sorry, Rocco. Can I ask the question? I'm just going to ask the question, Rocco, and of course, don't pull out the machine guns, mate. Just going to ask this question. So, what you're saying is that if you've got players that are one-man shows, the team will not perform.
But when you've got no teams are one-man show. What teams are one-man show?
But when you've got teams like Sydney and Brisbane who've had a number of their players who've been getting the votes, the proof is in the pudding. Who's playing in the grand final? No,
because you just finished saying, right? You don't even know what you're saying. You just finished saying that it's a midfielder's fucking award, and the umpires. But you all agree that it's a midfielder's award.
No,
it's a midfielder's award, right? And the midfielders get all the votes, right? So what you're talking about is it should be spread in the midfield, right? Right, but you just said that there were many votes that aren't given. You get gained. So how are we now assessing a team on a Brownlow vote? Like, it doesn't make sense. That's why I said to you, you're saying, there's one discrepancy to another, but Weedering made all Australian. Curnow finished with 50-something goals. Mackay kicked 49 goals. TD Gay had a breakout year.
Correct.
So
they should have got more votes.
No, because they don't get votes, Mark. Know that.
Because it's a midfielder's game.
Yes. But you can't now judge a team on Brownlow votes.
No, you can't.
No, you're not. No. Now, has a full forward ever won the Brownlow?
Yeah, but years ago.
Who is it?
Yeah. Tony Lockett.
You had Moore, who won it twice. So he was more of a ruckman forward. You had Lockett.
No, I'm talking about full forward.
Tony Lockett.
1987. Thank you very much. There you go. So full forward can actually win it, but as Mark said, and Mark again, you've hit the nail on the head, as you always do, sir.
That's 40 years ago. It's been a midfielder's award for the last.
That's right.
25, 30 years, man. So Weedering, he didn't get a vote, and he was all Australian backman.
And so what? What's your point?
What do you mean? What's my point?
What's your point?
Why don't we change it? That's what I'm saying.
The point is what do you? I don't know, man. Am I talking to myself? You're
we're coming back to what I said, that the selectors of the All-Australian,
what I'm saying is other positions do not get a look in by the umpires. We know that. What are we even arguing this? You know that it's a midfielder's award. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. You got your coach's award. You got all that sometimes people take more credit in winning, right? But the Brownlow is a midfielder's award. How many votes did I'll give you one. How many votes did Hogan get from GW? He won the Coleman. How many votes did he get? He got 70-something goals, and he got what? 8 votes. Like, so how is that like? What I mentioned Weedering. What's that got to do? That's exactly what it's got to it. You got a player who's kicked nearly 80 goals, and he gets like, what did he get? Does anyone know? 6 to 8 votes he got, something like that.
But if you remember a couple of weeks ago,
Rocco, that's the point.
If you remember a couple of weeks ago, actually, it was about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, and thank God I've got Marco here because he'll remember, and I know Quinn will remember. When I turned around and said that those who are on the panel who are selecting the All-Australian team, right, that's a bit of a gimmick, yeah? And, of course, everybody attacked me when I threw a couple of names in the hat.
No. Everyone attacked you because you threw out one name and it was a female.
No. I'm not sexist in any way. And nor am I going to sit there and go down that pathway. But the reality is
You're the one that brought it back up. You mentioned one name. You didn't know anyone else on that panel. You mentioned one name. You
I knew nobody on the panel.
Abby Holmes, and she happens to be a female. That's the only person you met.
No,
but what
no.
has that got to do with the umpires award? I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
So why are you bringing it up?
I'm just saying because you turned around and said about what's his name, Chiggering or Withering or Weathering, is
James
all
Bond.
Australian. That's all. Yeah. That's all.
What are you talking about?
I think the a lot of players out there that are more worthy of getting votes in the Brownlow than midfielders. That's my concept, and that's why sometimes
you can't take away what
it is. What it is, Mark. It's a myth. You know that.
Correct, but things can change. You know.
No, it won't change. The Brownlow stays the same. You got other awards. You got All Australians. You got Coaches Awards. You got all of that. You got best.
The Brownlow's the biggest award, mate. The Brownlow's the biggest
award. Which are important, you know. But it is what it is, man. It's been like that for like. Look, someone mentioned this before. Like, mate. Let me find it again. Someone mentioned this just before. Hudson got 150 goals in 1 year and didn't win the Brownlow. 150 goals. You know what that is? That's fucking nearly 5 goals a game. And he did not win the Brownlow. So what does that say? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the only forward this year that got two forwards that got 3 votes. One of them was Amadi, and it was a game he kicked 9. Like that's what it takes for a forward to get votes at the moment.
Forward the winner, yeah.
Well, here's a little bit of here's a bit of a trivia for you. Since we're on the Brownlow, there was a player who ended up with 26 votes. He was on the rookies list and ended up winning the Brownlow in 2014.
Rookie list. Jeez. 2014. 10 years.
Yep. And I want to thank my son for who's watching the show and decided to send me this bit of trivia. Good on you, Alec. Good evening, buddy.
And that's Pritis.
Pritis, that's right.
Yeah, but Matthew I don't get it. So what?
No. Did you hear what I said at the start of my conversation, Rocco? Since we're on the topic of the Brownlow, I said, here's a trivia question. That's all. Yeah? Did I say that, Mark?
Yeah, spot on.
Yeah. I know a good ENT specialist, Rocco.
You know the rookie list?
Yeah.
A rookie list is just another person on your list. This rookie list is like, don't make sound like a rookie list is like not a good player. Just remember, Mitchell was on the rookie list. He's a premiership captain, now the coach of Hawthorn. You know, there are many, many rookie lists, man. I think
it was because he started his first season on the rookie list.
Yeah, that's what all rookies do.
Yeah, but he won the Brownlow.
Not on the rookie list year.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
He did.
No, he never.
Well, unless somebody else can tell me that
he
won it in his first year.
The only way he would have been in the rookie list in 14 was because he would have been a senior player at that point. You know how sometimes clubs will delist players and then pick them back up
into rookies.
So they might have done that, and he was technically a rookie the year he won it.
Alec, good evening, buddy, and thanks for a little bit of trivia. There you go.
I think the trivia is a later, like it means nothing, that trivia. He was on the rookie list, so what? Isn't Sam Mitchell? Didn't he win the Brownlow?
I don't know.
Did Sam Mitchell win the Brownlow?
Yeah, he did. The joint Brownlow.
With Cotchet. Did he start as a rookie? Yes, he did. He started as a rookie.
As his first year? I
don't think Pritis started in his first year. He didn't win it as an 18-year-old. No, he never.
You know what, boys? Let's all just congratulate Patrick.
There you go.
Pritis 2024.
If this is correct, Pritis was relegated to the rookie list. That's what they'll do. They'll relegate to open up, and then they put him in their list again.
Well, there you go.
He wasn't a fucking rookie. That means he won his Brownlow when he was 18 years old.
I don't know how old he was.
Nah. We were talking about this. Prentice was had a good year that year. But anyway, let's not fucking again, mate. You're getting off topic.
Stand a little bit back, mate. Stand a little bit back, Rocco.
No, I'll do what I like.
That's better, man.
I'll do what I like.
No, because the light was reflecting off your solar panel, and it was blinding me. That's all.
No, congratulations, mate.
I reckon Prentice was not on the rookie list in 2014.
Was that his second Brownlow, Rocco? It's his second one, isn't it?
Second Brownlow, man. So that's it. So he'll be one, and he's the first Carlton player to actually the first dual Brownlow winner of just the club. I mean, Judd was 2, but he won one at West Coast. Williams was 2, but he won one at Sydney. So that was actually a good. You see the photo? There was a photo of them 3 together, right? Fucking hell, man. Like, what a difference, man. You got Williams, who's a dwarf, right? And then you got, I thought Judd was a big bloke, but then you get Cripper standing next to Judd. He makes him look short, mate.
Well,
like,
it's
an extreme, whatever you say about Cripper, is an extreme, mate. He's 195 centimetre, 110 kilo midfielder, right, who breaks through packs, mate. The bloke's a freak, mate. Our captain of the Carlton Football Club team of the century, and our captain is Nichols. He was our ruckman. He's only like I think he was 185 centimeters as a ruckman. Now we've got midfielders who are 195 running around, so mate, completely different.
Kudos to Paddy, mate. But
so just quietly, so we'll just talk about, we had Cripper on 45, then we had second was Walsh on 16, and then I think we had the Mackay on 8. They were our top 3. Do you know your top 3, Mark?
Mate, like I said to you, mate, I fell asleep, mate, 3 quarters through, buddy. I know Merritt got some votes. I think Jakey Stringer got a couple of votes. I don't know, mate. Look, it wasn't much to see. Man. I was probably happy that
Nick Douglas, he ended up with 38, and congratulations to Nick. He is an absolute superstar, and to go up against a brilliant, as I said, a captain's captain. I'm not afraid to call a spade there, Rock, unlike you, of course, who is afraid to put the word collar in your mouth. But to go, he ended up with 8, and then Chris with 5, and Lipinski with 5, and Josh with 3, and we goes to show you that.
Talk about one player side. That's a one player side, mate.
Oh, look, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter whether one player gets the 1,000 points, the other one doesn't. It's just all. As you said, Rocco. It's a team effort, and it shows that sometimes that it's the individual that really shows or shines. Stands out more than the other player. And full credit to Cripps. He's a gentleman, and he deserves it. At the end of the day, if umpires sit there and it's something that they see that they can't see on anybody else, and sometimes you think to yourself, some of the votes, could be a little bit wrong or whatever, but you can't take away from him. 45 points. But even Nick Dacre was 38 points. It's unheard of to end up with 38 points and not win a Brownlow. It's unheard of, but it happened this year. So we've given, I suppose, the Brownlow a lot to talk about, and as I said, it's a fantastic spectacle, and everybody likes to watch it for all different reasons. The ladies love to watch it because they like the red carpet. Others like to watch it because of the the fact that they've got one of their favourite players that may possibly end up winning it. So I think it's a great, and of course, let's not take away anything from Bobby Hill, Mark of the Year.
It shouldn't have been Mark of the Year.
It
wasn't
Bobby Hill, Mark of the Year. And if it wasn't Bobby, it would have been Jamie Ollie.
It should have been Heaney all the way. If they had the finals, it should have been Heaney.
But what are we saying?
You can keep that shit award. Even the goalie, that was shit too. Like, what a rubbish award that was.
Zach Merritt should have won Goal of the Year.
How can it be called? How can they call that Mark of the Year?
Because it was. It was Mark of the Year.
No, it wasn't.
It was.
No, it wasn't.
But Rocco, we spoke about this last week. The Mark of the Year is home and away, not the finals, home and away. Home and away, not the finals.
They shouldn't call it Mark of the Year then. They should be called Mark of the home and away.
Is home and away, not the finals, home and away.
Yes, but we know that. But they actually call it Mark of the Year.
Okay.
They don't call it Brownlow of the. They call it's a home and away, and then what you do is you've got a Gary Ayres for the finals, right? You got another award. They've actually specified it, but they've called it Mark of the Year, and then they don't use the whole year.
Well, I might talk to the AFL and see if they can change it to Mark of the home and away season.
And to tell you the truth, if you put Heaney, that wasn't Mark of the Year. Heaney was by far the better mark. And I reckon Cameron's goal in that first final would have almost been Goal of the Year, the one from the boundary where he kicked it.
Can I ask a question?
Zach Merritt was close to Heaney.
If Heaney's mark was in the mix, now would Heaney win the award even though he was not eligible to win the Brownlow?
Yeah, because the mark's got nothing to do with that. The mark isn't the best and fairest mark.
Okay. No. It's a question. It's a question I ask because I know a lot of viewers would like to know. And thank you very much for clarifying that for me, Rocco. Thank you very much.
I'm telling you, Lana reckons bullshit, man. I couldn't give a shit about the red carpet. Only football sexist comment again. I don't know, man. It's up to you. So let's move on to the next one. I don't watch it for that. I don't watch it for that. I tell you, it just bores me, mate. It just bores me. All that red carpet and talking to people that no one cares about. All right, what do we got next? Do you want to go into? I reckon we go into. I mean, there wasn't much. Is there anything else? There wasn't really much more happening this week. We're getting ready for the grand final, and that's it.
Pretty much. It's a pretty low-key week. Well, it's the first grand final in how many years were they saying that there's been no Victorian side playing? So
2006.
Yeah, so the 06, the West Coast Sydney grand final. So it's been a long time, and like I work in Richmond at the moment, and you can just feel the streets like they're not the same as what they normally are, in previous years because of that lack of Victorian side. I feel so something different. It's something a little bit different, but like I said a couple of weeks ago, Rock, perfect for me because I absolutely love the team that wins to be as far away as possible. I don't want a team in Melbourne to win. If Richmond's not winning it, then fucking let Brisbane have it because I'm not going to hear any Brisbane supporters carrying on after the fact. So this is a great result for me personally.
I don't know any real Sydney supporters, so I know a couple of Brisbane supporters at work, and they're giving me the shits. They're the ones that have been all over social media this week. I never see them about footy, and this week they've been posting their shit photos with their shit families. I don't give a shit. Never seen anything about you, and all of a sudden they're posting this week. So I hope they get smashed just for him.
That is a good point. That is a good point, Quinn, about that.
I'm going to bring something back now that we had a bit of a dispute there, Marco. This week would have been perfect for the Sydney-Brisbane grand final at Sydney, wouldn't it? Sydney over, have their home game, get their bloody 50,000 people there. I mean,
Yeah,
half,
well, you know
half
what,
the people
Rocco,
at the MCG
things-
aren't
things-
supporting Brisbane and Sydney, I'll tell you
I
now.
know things are going to change in the future with the AFL, mate. There might be a game which will never happen in a grand final interstate, but pointing that Quinn, mate, Sydney and Brisbane, there are a lot of Fitzroy supporters, and there
South
are a lot
Melbourne.
of and South Melbourne supporters. So although it's an interstate game or a final, there will be a lot of the old regular supporters and fans out there that will be supporting Fitzroy and South Melbourne as well. But
if it's two teams that are going to bring supporters interstate, it's them two. Because they were both Victorian teams at once.
Yeah, exactly.
Melbourne.
The downfall that I'm a little bit concerned about, boys, is that the last throughout the finals.
Look at him. He's got the Sydney top. Let's go.
Cheer the red and
It's going to be Brisbane, mate.
So can I? Sorry, Mark. I was going to
sorry,
just. No, you're right, buddy. I was just going to say that we talk about the AFL, being a national sport. It'll never be an international sport, and they can and the AFL can sit there and they can sit there and cook themselves on that one, because I'm so happy it'll never be an international sport. But talk about being a national sport, and yet you got two teams who are both interstate teams, and it would have been nice to have if Sydney had a big ground that could accommodate. I mean, I suppose they got the Homebush.
They got Homebush. That fits more than the MCG.
Yeah. So, but unfortunately, I think for the MCG's got the contract till I think 2059, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, it's something that will eventually change. Mark, we're talking
the grand final money. Yeah, the grand final
40
will
years,
always be played
45 years time. I won't be around, matey, and I know that Quinny will be around, and of course Quinny will be playing with his grandkids, and he'll be saying, "Well, look at this, the MCG no longer has the AFL grand final." But it is what it is, and some traditions remain to be the same. And as Rocco said, Sydney has got a lot of South Melbourne supporters, mate. A lot of South Melbourne supporters and Fitzroy supporters.
They always say it's a sellout. Apparently, it's a sellout. But we'll get into that. But let's get back to what happened. And this happened on Friday night. This is a bit of a go, Quinny.
Yeah, well, the Bloods, Sydney took on Port Adelaide in the preliminary final. And it was probably the result most of us were thinking about, but Sydney came out and absolutely dominated. Never really looked like losing. 14 goals, 11.95 to 8 goals, 11.59.
Yeah, I think we all. I don't think you picked her. You picked actually Port Adelaide, mate. Boy, Manny, I think you did. I think the rest of us picked Sydney to win. Yeah, I thought it was going to be Sydney. I thought that Port Adelaide. It was actually, it wasn't much of a game. It was okay.
Port already had their grand final the week before that, mate.
I reckon
they were cooked, and obviously Sydney at home, having a week's break, they had to win this game. So
yeah,
pretty straightforward, I think, this game.
Yeah. And to be fair, when you look at it all year, Sydney was the team that did set the team that was going to really be the one to beat. Sure, they went through a little bit of a 4 or 5 games where they're up and down inconsistency, but Sydney and of course Brisbane, they were finishing so well towards the end of the year, the last 5, 6, 7 games, and of course you saw what they did to that great club, the Carlton Football Club. So you got 2 of the best in the finals this year.
Yeah, it was a one-sided affair, and like you said, Mike, I agree. I said it last week as well before we did the tips. I said I reckon Port has played their grand final or played their preliminary final, and I think it showed. They came out, they looked like they just weren't up for the fight, and I think Sydney had been doubted a few times as to whether they could, continue momentum and keep it going after they dipped late in the year. But it just makes it hard watching the way that what they did in the prelim. And thinking what they can do at the MCG this week, it makes it hard to tip against them coming up this week, which we'll talk about a bit later. But yeah, they were dominant and they looked good from the first bounce. They never dropped off. And we spoke about their Brownlow performances this year. All their players, their big guns, they all stood up. They all played well. They all did their job. So it's gonna be scary to see what they can do next week or this week.
Fucking Heaney, what a player. Warner stood up. You had there's a whole heap, man. Like, I can't even think of it that far back now. But you had all, like you said, man, all those names just stood up at the right time. Papley stood up when he needed to. He's come back from injury into the finals and playing some good footy. Now, man, they've got a good even side, mate. They're a good side. And just remember, these are the two sides. Oh, well, we'll talk about the next one. But these two grand finalists now are the last two losing grand final sides in the previous 2 years. And they've come back to be in the grand final this year. So that just shows what a good bloody team and unit these two teams are, man, to come back and be. And, well, we'll talk about the Lions soon. But,
if Brisbane wins this one, they'll be joining the Western Bulldogs, won't they? In a team that finishes outside the top four.
Well, Western Bulldogs. I mean, Adelaide did it. Adelaide actually did it from fifth. So,
did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
They did it 2 years in a row from outside the four.
I thought it was just the Western Bulldogs in 2016, but
No, the two Adelaide flags were done from outside the top four. They won it from, I think, fifth and then sixth, or sixth and then fifth. So they did it 2 years in a row. So fifth and sixth, the Crows, yeah, they definitely did it, yeah. So it can be done. No, they're playing good footy, but we'll get to them in a sec, yeah. So Sydney, and what about Port Adelaide? They put up a big fight the week before, and then this week they come in and they just, they just didn't have it, man. They brought in Dixon. That bloke's done. He's got to finish up. In actual fact, he wasn't actually too bad in the second half. He started getting his hands on the ball. He jumped into the ruck and he started getting hands on the ball, but it just wasn't enough. Look, they've got a good midfield, man. I love Horn-Francis. I love fucking Butters. Mate, they got a good midfield there. Midfield. Yeah, Rosie. They got a good midfield. So they did all right, but they just didn't have it. Sydney were just way too good for them. And, they finished off nice and strong, and they just finished off. So what do you reckon about Kenny Hinkley now?
I don't know. Like to make it to this many prelims, right, is I don't know. Yeah, so for those that I guess probably understand footy a little bit better, might be able to answer this better than me. But if you're getting to a prelim, right, does it become a point where it's not coaching and it's just like when does it become a playing issue and not a coaching issue, right? So he's got them to a prelim. His system has done well enough all year, all through the home and away. They've beaten good sides. They've made it all the way to the prelim. At what point does it come down to, is this a playing issue, right? I think Port Adelaide have said that he's safe and he's not going to lose his job. But then how many prelims can you lose before it does become a coaching issue? Like, what's he lost now? 3 or 4? I think Brisbane at one point.
That's actually a great question, man. Like, you bring him there so many times and they just can't get over the line. I mean, this is a decision for the team to decide now. Is it the players? Why are they off? They've got to be looking at these things. Why are they just that little bit where they can't get over the line? Is it mental? Like, the other thing is, they say this about a coach, and I think they say it a lot about soccer, is like, at the end of the day, the coach will bring you to the box. In soccer, they'll bring you to the forward half, and then it's up to the team. You know what I mean? So is it the same with this? Yeah, like I can bring you only so far, but then the players have got to get you there. I mean, he's brought them to a prelim, and there's still a chance with half a game to go, a slight chance. So whose fault is it? Like, and it's not just once. It's now like what? They've lost 6 out of their last 7 finals or something, like it's something really. So whose fault is it?
Yeah, I think it's 4 prelims now. David Taylor saying in the comments there. So it's 4 prelims. And I know, I can't remember the third one, but I know 2 of those were home finals as well. Like, because Richmond beat them in the prelim in 2020. And that was a big opportunity for them to beat us. And then they lost. I think the Bulldogs smashed them in 2021 as a home final at the prelim. So, this year, if it was an isolated incident, you wouldn't think about it too much. They went to Sydney, the best team all year, and they got done. Like, okay, fair enough. But the fact that this is continuing and it's been going on and on and on, that this is what makes you think, all right, something's not quite right. Because a lot of the core group is the same as well.
This is the thing, but with this decision now, you got to look at it and say, you got to make the hard call now, right? And you like, maybe he's good enough to bring you to a preliminary, but he's not good enough because to go from a preliminary to a grand final and then win it, it's massive steps. I reckon I could bring a team from fucking 18th to 9th, right? Like you just get the players together. You got half a decent fucking game plan, mate. You get some good players on there. You'll get them up quick enough. But it's getting them to that next step, getting them into the 8. That's next level. And then getting them from 8 to 4, that's huge. You know what I mean? I remember when I was young and we used to have cars and we used to fucking build them up for the bloody Calder Park and try to get them up, Like it was easy. You had to spend money, but it was easy to get a car to do like 13 seconds those days, Right? It was pretty easy. That was a quick car those days. But then to get it from 13 to 12 was a lot of money, man. And it was like that 1 second was huge to get, and then to get it to 12 to 11 seconds, far out, you might as well sell the house, This is the same with the footy team. Yeah, we'll get them to there. All right, so then we'll get them to like 8, and then we'll get them. But to get them now into a grand final, mate, is he good enough to get him to that next level? We'll never know. No, I don't reckon it's a big call. I reckon I could get a team from 18th to fucking 10th or 9th. I reckon you give me the players. I reckon how hard could it be, mate? Just fucking kick it to the big man. Like I don't reckon.
Was it Holden Tirana that you had at Calder, mate?
E.H. Holden, mate.
Was it Holden Tirana or was it the
E.H. Holden, mate? E.H. Holden was my car.
Oh, mate, I had the old Holden Tirana, mate. SLR Tirana, mate, I had, mate, when I was younger days.
I loved the Tirana, man. They were crazy cars those days, man.
What was it, a 308 or a 350?
Nah, 350, yeah. I had the 350, yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
But anyway, enough about that.
I've always been a Ford man.
Yeah, so. My thoughts on Hinkley.
I think too, man. Give me like a fucking XA coupe any day, man. I love the coupes, man. They're one of the toughest looking cars. But anyway, back to footy for a second. We'll talk about that later. What do you guys reckon?
I think Hinkley should go, honestly.
Not good enough?
No, it's not about it's not about not being not good enough. He's had opportunities.
But when I say not good enough, I mean not good enough to get that next fucking step, like that next step is big, mate. Yeah,
he's had his chance. And to be quite honest, I reckon they were lucky to make the prelim because Hawthorn should have knocked them off, to be quite honest. So I think at this stage he's had probably too much opportunities as a coach. They've had chances to make the grand final. They haven't made it. And all right, we can keep on blaming the players, but I think Hinkley should go. I think he should go after this year, to be honest. Bring in another new face and go from there. That's what I believe.
I'm telling you, man, it's a good argument to have, man. And what happens if halfway through the year they're like 2-8 or something, fucking 8 losses and that, then what happens? They make the decision there. The other thing is then who do you get in? Like it's easy enough to get rid of someone. Like who steps in? You know what I mean? What about you, Manny? What do you reckon, Hinkley?
Well, look, I was just looking at Longmire. Now he's been at Sydney for close to so fair to say about 10 years,
maybe more, 12, 13 years, 14 years,
right?
whatever it's a long time.
And I think it's all about a coach could be the front, but it's all about how you throw other players in the mix, and what you bring into the mix. For you need your coaches who are going to be supporting your full forwards. You're going to be coaches, going to be your defenders, your midfielders, etc. So you've always got the coach who's the front, but it's also how well the other coaches behind the scenes are performing. And I just sometimes think that you've got to look at it and say to yourself, you know what, you've been here for a while, and maybe you mightn't be the problem, but maybe the fact that we've got issues with even the other coaches behind the scene, and maybe we need to sit there and say time to overhaul everything and try and see if we can bring something else into the picture. Because I can tell you right now, Longmire wouldn't have been sitting there without changing a number of coaches around, because he would have said, you know what, my midfield has been doing well, but my defence has been shit house. And those who are looking after my defence are not performing. Time for me to say to them, say to the board, hey, listen, we need other coaches to come in. So you can't always just blame the coach. It's football, as McRae said, that to win a flag is not easy, but you need to have every single coach gelling, every single coach performing to get the team happening. So
you can't always blame the coach. I agree with you, but there comes a point where you go, like, for example, you talk about Longmire, but Longmire's been to grand finals, won grand finals, and he keeps reinventing himself. Same with Brad, with Chris Scott. I mean, they've only missed one final, two finals. They've made like 13 prelims. They've won grand finals. You can't deny that. But he hasn't got them to the big day, right? And he's had many attempts. So then the problem is, what the other problem is? I think he's a good coach. Don't get me wrong, but maybe his voice is lost now at the team. Like sometimes you can be a great coach, but after a while, like you're not having an impact on the players. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I'll give you a perfect example was Kevin Sheedy. Right, Kevin Sheedy was a great coach, but at the end, I reckon it was just that it was the same message over and over. And I reckon it was losing it in the team. It doesn't say he wasn't a great coach, but it was just time for a change, and that's the decision they're going to make with Hinkley now. Is it time for change, or do we?
Sometimes that change is too long. That's what happened with Essendon. That change,
100%,
I believe, was too long with Kevin Sheedy. He should have left, a long time ago. But obviously they kept him. But sometimes too long is not good enough, and that's what.
That's where it gets tough. Sorry, Mark. I was going to say, that's where it gets tough, right? Like obviously the Sheedy one, the Hinkley one, both fantastic coaches, right? Obviously Sheedy a little bit different because Sheedy won flag, so it's even harder to get rid of a premiership coach, right? So it becomes another problem altogether. But you look at how successful these guys have been. You can clearly see that they're good coaches, but then it's also trying to balance out. Well, do we let like Hinkley, for example, just become that coach that was fantastic, premiership caliber coach? It just missed him, and now he's met, like you said, Rock. His message has become repetitive. He's probably lost the group, and it's just one of those guys that was good enough to win a flag. It just for whatever reason never worked out, whether it was unlucky or whatever it might be. And that's what Port are going to decide now. They're going to come to that crossroads and go, look, do we risk falling down the ladder a little bit, but getting a new message in and backing in our list to bounce back up in a year or two, or do we just keep trying with the same thing?
Yeah. And that's going to be a test. Obviously, we're not speaking about the Brisbane game, but that's going to be a test to Fagan as well this week.
What we'll do is
grand final. If he doesn't take those points this week, there's going to be questions asked again that he's got on there
what we'll do is we'll go into that game. Now that's a good segue. We'll go into that game, right? And we can talk about that. We can also then talk about the grand final and the implications of losing and winning that grand final. But there was this game here was this one was a good game, man. Like, go for it, Quinny.
Oh, this one was unreal. I reckon I could watch this one over and over and over again. Yeah. It was fantastic to watch, but it was 12-13, 85 to 14-11, 95. And with 5 minutes to go, you honestly had no idea who was going to win this game. Brisbane were up. Then Geelong kicks 2, Jack Henry there. You think, okay, well, the game's done now. Then all of a sudden, Brisbane go back down the other end. They kicked. It's like, where are these goals coming from? It was honestly unbelievable. And someone might correct me, but I reckon that for me, that's probably match of the season. Like I couldn't get enough of it. I went back and watched the last half an hour, the last quarter again the next day. Like I loved it. It was so good to watch.
So do I. I actually, you know what? I'm going to be honest. I missed the first half and I went back and like caught up with it because I forgot it was on at 5:30, at 5:15, whatever. Yes. And I fucking tuned in at 7:30, right? I'm all excited. I sit down, going to watch it. And then I'm looking at the score and I'm going, it was like 89-90 or 79-80 or something like that. And I'm going, is this last year's game? Is this like, what's going on? Why are they showing me? So I went back out of KO, went back in again, and I'm thinking, and I'm going back and forth. What is going on? And then I went, oh man. So I caught the last quarter. I did catch the best quarter, but I went back and watched the third quarter with the comeback 25 points down. And they did it again, Brisbane, like far out. And you know who's come to play? Fucking Danaher, mate. Danaher's come to play in the last 2 weeks, mate.
Yeah. But I tell you what, and just watch out too, because Danaher had to play the last half of the game in the ruck. And he dominated the ruck. But they're going to bring in a ruckman now. Darcy Fort's going to get a game, so Danaher's going to go back down forward again. If he gets on fire in the forward line, then he's going to get damaging too, even more damaging. So, and a big problem for the Swans. They're going to have to get used to that. Yeah, well, that's it. I reckon you're not enough controversy from Mark, man. I don't know what the chat want. They want it. They don't want it. It's one of the. It was a fucking great game, man. And as you said, when Henry that kicked those 2 goals? Yeah. When he kicked those 2 goals, he hit the second goal and they hit the front. There was 2 minutes something to go, and I'm going, I reckon Geelong have got it, mate. I reckon they've got it. They've done it, man. They'll hold on because they're a good side, man. All they got to do is if they can just control it out of the centre, they've got this, and then fucking bang, mate. Brisbane out of the centre, mate. And
I was happy to see Geelong lose. I was happy for what's his name? That I won't say anything nasty about him because he is a great football player. But Dangerfield, no finals for you, Dangerfield. So no, I actually was happy to see Geelong lose and they're out of the finals and. Now I'm actually going to enjoy watching the grand final because I don't have to stress about my wonderful Magpies not being in there because I'm very nervous when we're playing in grand final. Something that, not you, Quinn, but, we make up for it. I'm going to enjoy watching the footy because you got Sydney, which I've got a bit of a soft spot for Sydney. And I also like Brisbane because Collingwood always spanks Brisbane. So, you know what? I'm actually going to enjoy the grand final. I'm going to really enjoy it. I hope it just doesn't end up being like that GWS Tigers game when it was over at halftime.
That's only good when your team's playing.
Back to the Brisbane game, and then we'll get on to the Sydney. We'll talk about the grand final. But back to this game. Cam Rayner steps up.
Stole my thunder again.
There you go, man. He fucking steps up, man. That goal that he kicked, man, far out, man. That was a good fucking goal.
Cam Rayner, 4 possessions half time, 20 possessions second half. and kicked a couple of goals, and obviously the crucial one towards the end. But they're the X factor players that you want in your team, players that can all of a sudden just turn the game around. And Brisbane, I think, have got a lot of players that can do that, which is Cameron, Danaher, even like we all might
Cameron, you got Rayner, you've got like Lockie Neal, you've got Danaher, even bloody Hipwood will step up and kick a couple of goals.
Correct.
The other player in the last 2 weeks that has fucking turned Brisbane around was Zorko. Halfway through the last game, when they were 45 points down, he was nowhere to be seen, mate. Absolutely got smashed, And he had a ripper second half last week. And then this week, mate, off that half back, he was fucking superb, man. Zorko was really good. And then they had the ruckman who went down. What was his name? Sorry.
The big O, Oscar McInerney.
Oh, mate, but he didn't go down once. He went down twice, mate. Like, he come back on again, Oh, Archie, another one, man. Archie, he's the other one who just comes up and pops out of nowhere, mate.
They got another young fella, the blonde-headed guy. What's his name?
What's his name?
Kyle Lohman. Oh, you know who else is one of my favorites from Brisbane? And if he did it so many times throughout the game as well, right? Zach Bailey. He's so much fun to watch. He hits the scoreboard, but there's a few times, and if you watch, the reason Brisbane beat Geelong was because I attacked them straight through the middle of the ground. They went through the guts. They didn't fuck around. They went straight through the guts. And it was that one passage of play. I can't remember who got it to him. But Bailey took it, and then he zigzagged. He went inboard. And he cut in. And the way he brought the board forward, they got a goal out of it.
That's the one where Cameron marked it, and then he tipped it over to Archie, and he kicked it. Yeah. That's the one where he and because what he did was, right, he he broke the angles, man. He come through the middle. Then once he went through the middle and he ran off, man, like they were off, man. That was, they got some match winners. And the other one who's going to be a really good player is Ashcroft, man. That kid, man, he's going to fucking be a player, that kid. And they reckon, but I've heard this before, that his brother's better than him, mate. So, and he's coming in next year. They reckon he's better than him. So I don't know, man.
He's a kid that's playing right now, right? And you look at him, and I am Rocco. I am wearing a Swans Guernsey. You look at someone like Ashcroft, and you can just tell, right, that he is still devastated. He didn't play in last year's grand final, and he is just doing everything he can right now to make sure the Lions got there. And that's what it looked like when he was playing. He looked like he had a mission that he was just trying to achieve, and he got there. So. Unreal.
Hugh McCluggage is a cool name. Hugh
McCluggage is a cool name. Rocco asked in the chat why I've got a Swans Guernsey on.
Yeah.
Long story short, I've got the full Sydney kit at home. My partner, she works for car sales, and they're one of the sponsors of Sydney. And last year, they all did a trip up to the Swans facilities, and everyone that went up got a full Swans kit. She had no use for a full AFL kit. So I wear a lot of the gear to training on like a Tuesday or Thursday night. But I thought grand final week, I'll whip out the Guernsey, give it some use. Wow. But yeah, it's not something you'll find me in.
I was going to say, Quinn, you're very lucky that you haven't been if that was me, I would have been already insulted by our friend Rocco, the gangster, because Rocco always says that those type of jumpers should only be worn by players.
But he's a player. He does play.
No. Yeah. We all played footy once upon a time. But what I'm saying.
But he plays footy now, so he wears it at training.
Yeah, whatever.
What do you mean, whatever? Do you play footy now?
I play kick to kick in the backyard.
Quinn, do you play footy now?
Yeah.
So you got every right to wear a jumper, but man. Right.
Well, I apologise. Maybe I've missed. You know what? I've been misinterpreting Rocco.
A lot tonight.
Well, yeah, I do apologise, Rocco. I don't know whether it's that new denture that you've put on, or whether it's I don't know what it is, mate. But I apologise.
I think you're just not all there, mate. You just are all over the place tonight, man. I don't know, man. Something's happened. I reckon.
I think it's.
I
I think
reckon,
I'm
I reckon something's leaked into your fucking mouth and your fucking not
No,
the
I
best.
think I'm a bit sad as it's it's the final show for 2024. So a little bit emotional.
Everyone wants to see you in a jumper, man. Chuck one on Manny. Let's see it. I reckon everyone wants to see a jumper. I reckon next year you put on a jumper.
Yeah. I'll do
But
that
back to
next.
this game. So you got Brisbane and then you got Geelong. Right? Geelong, you can't say much about Geelong. I mean, they finished fourth. They were down and out during the year. And then they come back to finish fourth. They make it to a prelim. They get a home game. They're in front with 2 minutes to go. Can you really bag them? Chris Scott, he's done well again. He's brought them back up there. I just, to tell you the truth, I think when you look back, I think it's the right result. I think Geelong just weren't good enough this year. When you look back at it, I just don't think they were good enough side. You know what I mean? I think definitely Sydney. And you know what? When you look back at the last 10 or 12 weeks, you probably have to say that Brisbane are the next best side if you really look at it.
Yeah.
And it's shown, And so, no, Geelong, good effort. But, look, as I said, I know a few Geelong supporters. So, I've just got something to say for all the Geelong supporters.
My gosh. I think it might be a ghost. Oh, no, it's not. It's just a bird. Bye. There's the door. Later days. Can you hear this? Let me turn it up.
I love that. I love that.
That's why I brought it. I love that. But they're, mate, don't be disappointed, but really, you can't really say too much about Geelong, man. It's a good, and they lost by what, like 10 points, whatever it was. I mean, far out.
They're one of the only sides, like in Sydney being another one. They're one of the only sides that you've really got nothing on them. Like they're always successful. They're always thereabouts. They're always giving themselves the best chance. Like, how do you knock a team like that? Like, we're all envious. Everyone would love to be in a position like that where every year you're a chance, So it's good on them. But yeah, again, same as you, Manny. I'm glad they didn't make it. I'm probably a bit overseeing Geelong in grand finals, and it's nice to see another couple of teams who haven't said. I mean, not that Sydney and Brisbane haven't been around, but someone other than Geelong for once, which is nice.
I think it's nice to see that two teams that have got a lot of history, who will play against each other for the first time in a grand final. So, which is really, really good.
No, you can't bag the Cats. They're just a good side, mate. They're well, and you know what? It doesn't look like they'll be dropping off next year either. And you can see them making top 4 again next year. Let's be honest, man. Like, they're probably going to bring in Bailey Smith. They're probably going to bring in 1 or 2 players again. Some of the youngsters have stepped up. You know what I mean? So they'll be right up there. But it's all about the Brisbane. So let's go into what it's all about. This is what we all play for. Well, we don't. We just watch. But it's about this one here. Go for it.
The big dance, the 2024 AFL Grand Final. Sydney Swans take on the Brisbane Lions, 28th of September, 2:30 p.m. at the MCG. The traditional time slot where I think it should always be, but we'll have other opinions on that. But, mate, it's going to be a great game. The weather is shaping up to be nice. A perfect sunny Saturday afternoon at the MCG.
Yep, I'm looking forward. As I said, I think this will be a good game. I'm looking forward to it. I'll pick a winner, but I really don't know who's going to win. I can see both teams winning this game easily. I can see Sydney and I can see Brisbane winning it. I wouldn't be shocked. I'd be shocked if it was a one-sided game, to tell you the truth.
I really hope, and this is obviously a stretch, right? Because I think someone, there's a stat I saw today, was like the last 6 grand finals, the last 9 grand finals or something have been like 40+ point wins. Like it's crazy. But last year was the only one we had in a while that was actually close. If we can get one even close to last year, that'd be fantastic. Like that close result where you just don't know. You're on the edge of your seat the whole time. They're the grand finals you want to see. They're the big games, especially as a neutral fan, you want to sit down and watch. So that'd be fantastic. And I'm the same, Rock. I'll give my tip as who I think will win, but it could go either way. It really could go either way. They're both flying.
Mark said it before. They've both got match winners. Like you can see like Brisbane with Charlie. You can see like fucking as you said, Rayner. You could see like Danaher, you can see all the Neil, you can see them being a match winner, but then you go to the other side and you can see Heaney, you can see Warner, you can see Pabbley, you can see like all their match winners. So it's just who's going to take it. I'm with you. I hope it's it's one of the grand finals. Like I don't care who's going to win. Yeah, this might be a toss of the coin. Just call it. You don't know who's going to win. And I'm actually excited. Fucking hell, some people like 80 points, no chance that there will not be.
I'm going to put a lazy 50 on it that it's going to end up being a draw.
It can't be. Oh, you mean at the end of the time on?
That's right.
At the end of the normal time?
That's right. Yeah. I reckon it's going to be a draw.
I would have
loved that. I'd love a draw.
I wouldn't mind time on, far out.
That'll be
in a grand final. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Goulden, he's a fucking gun, man. Like that cunt. How good was he, man? Like he was. Oh, they're gonna bloody copyright me for saying that word. Goulden, he's a gun. Man, they've all got match winners, man. And as I said, these are the last two losing grand finalists in the previous 2 years. You know, so you know, and then when you look back, like I was figuring, just talk about Carlton for a second. Like we beat Sydney in a final last year, the first final. They come back and make a grand final. We beat Brisbane at the start of the season, and probably ahead of them all year, and then they're in a grand final. So that says a lot about their two teams, man. It says a lot, man. Sydney just do not go away, mate. Sydney, they're the other team. Them and Geelong, they just don't go anywhere, mate. They don't go anywhere. Marco, what do you reckon?
Pre-entertainment. Who's the pre-entertainment? Katy Perry, isn't it?
Yeah, well...
you're going to hear me roar. So
Scotty Tompkin wants to know straight away. He wants to know Manny's thoughts on Katy Perry.
Oh, look, I love Katy Perry. I've got a very, very soft spot for her. I think she's a great entertainer. Love her music, and I just think she's just a really nice person. I like Katy Perry.
She's a nice person.
Yeah,
a nice
well, I've seen her on different programs, and and she's she comes across as a very, very nice person. So
have you met her yet, Manny?
And also just to let Scotty know that yes, you're right, Scotty. These two teams did meet together in 1899, but this is the first time that they're meeting after the amalgamation, or after the change from being the Fitzroy Lions and being the South Melbourne Swans.
Yeah. So Katy Perry, I don't really care too much.
So Katy Perry singing the Roar, which is obviously a Lions Roar there. So
apparently there was a little bit of a dispute with the AFL. They wanted to play 5 of her old favourites, but she wants to play 2 of her new songs, and so there's a bit of, I wonder what's going to happen.
Well, I'm going to be at the game, so I'll be able to compare Katy Perry to the Kiss of last year.
Well, there you go. You don't go to Collingwood games, but you'll go to a Sydney game. That's fucking fantastic.
Well, I'm sorry to say, Rocco, unfortunately, this is what happens when you're a VIP. I get my people to talk to different people, and then, it is what it is.
I can't believe it. He goes to 3 games of Collingwood, the team that he says he supports, and now he goes to the grand final. I would ban people like you from the grand final just quietly. That is a fucking disgrace.
Look, my sponsors want me
What
there.
a way to
So I'm
end
going
this
to be there.
What a way to end Fourever rivals, man. The bloke goes to Sydney, Brisbane, but will not travel fucking like 10 minutes. You know, he actually lives like a 10-minute train ride from the G, and he will not go there to support his side.
No, do not mislead. Do not mislead. I live 12 minutes away.
It's a fucking disgrace, man. No wonder you're a bunch of rabble fucking dull, bludging, toothless people, mate. Seriously. Anyway, back to I can't believe it. I would.
I'm not gonna put my tip in yet, Rocco. All right, because although you know who I'm going to tip because I've been tipping Brisbane all year for the premiership. But what are we? 1 point on the tips.
I was going to surprise you after, but it looks like you're keeping up with it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell you now. I'll go first. I'm going Sydney. I know you're going to go Brisbane, right?
Well, I tip Brisbane all year. So
yeah, I could have gone the easy out.
Yes.
Right, and gone Brisbane.
Yeah. Well, I would have contradicted you on that. I would have just said, mate, let's make it fair.
There's no fairness.
You picked Geelong against, Brisbane, and they lost. So fair is fair. Make the show a bit more controversial. Make it a bit fair. You picked Geelong. They've lost.
There's no fairness here, Mark.
They just go Brisbane to win the tips.
Why don't you give
If it was all about me winning, I would have just gone Brisbane, right? But it's not.
But you tipped against them the week before, so
yeah, but it doesn't mean I'll tip against them the next week.
Yeah, but you tipped Sydney to win, and they're in the now.
No, but now it's a completely different game, mate. Like you don't know what's going on.
I know, but still, you keep the
don't
show.
Tell me what to do. I'm gonna pick whoever I want, but
who are you gonna tip?
I told you I'm gonna go for Sydney.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna tip Brisbane for this game. And the tipping competition is going to be.
I can't lose. I can't lose. I'll still win. This is like
it'll be a draw.
This is Crippo with three. Yeah, but you're still a winner.
Oh, we're both winners.
Yeah, we're both winners on the day because it's the end of the season, right? But I'm picking. I told you, I'll pick Sydney. Look, while we're there, who are you going for, Manny?
I've already told you.
It's irrelevant.
I already told you.
Irrelevant. Yeah, who is it? I can't remember.
I told you it's going to be a draw.
It's a draw.
Yeah, but who's going to win eventually? The draw doesn't count.
Eventually, Brisbane.
Yeah, because it has to be time on.
Yeah.
All right, so you Brisbane and Quinny?
All right, well, I may as well split the middle then because I've got no idea. I'll go Sydney as well, Rock. So I've got two Sydney, two Brisbane
at the bottom. And if we're going to go, let's have a look. This was the total. Manny got 0 last week. He absolutely stuffed it up. Me and Quinny got 1, and Mark got 2. So he got both of them right. So now we're at 131. And you want to know the truth? I think last year I won by one vote, one tip last year. Yes. So I could win by 2. So I'm happy to go Sydney, man. So this is going to be the battle. This is going to be the battle of the Mark and Rock Cup. This is the Rock and Mark Cup for the Fourever Rivals tips, mate. So Sydney. Look, and
come on the Tigers. Come on the Tigers. Oh, the Tigers, not the Tigers. Sorry.
He's back. He's back with his props.
I've got Tigers. My God.
Oh no, now we got Rocco with a prop.
I've got to bring that one last time to the buzz.
Sorry, mate. I've got me crisps, chips.
I've got the spuds. Here we go. Hey, I've also got me mate here.
I've got
Jesus.
I've got
Cripper here.
I've got Cripper.
I got the old Cripper.
Here's Cripper.
Both built like
Where's
Cripper.
money?
Hey, you'll
Where's
get
money?
copyrighted, Rock. Don't do that.
There's not. No, this is a neutral. This is a what do they call this? The
Gender neutral.
agenda.
Hey, so which one's the dummy?
Very good.
That's a bit early for your joke, Manny.
So we've got don't forget the merch. This is how I'm gonna cook my barbecue for Saturday. With the mucky cats at top with the apron there, and he's gonna put on his beanie and we're gonna have a barbecue.
What do they go for, Rocco?
Which ones?
That
The
mark your
apron.
cards.
I think they're about the $30 mark for the apron. It's very good quality too, man. Very good quality.
Is it made in Australia?
I'm not sure. I think it is.
Or it might be made in Italy.
You want to get a 10% discount?
Make your cards.
I'm not bloody 10%. Nah, it's probably made in China, but it's very good quality. Now, last night, why we brought our little friend, our Cripper, last night we gave away merch, one every hour. Next week we'll be doing the same. This is thank you very much to Workwear branding. Workwear branding. They're the ones who do our merch, so they'll be giving away. And on the live stream, we are going to be doing the 24 in 24. 24 bits of merch in 24 hours we'll be giving away. So every day there will be, every hour there'll be something different. How you going, mate? How'd you go, mate? How'd you go this year? Was it a good year, mate? Yeah, no worries, mate. I had a good year, mate. Not too bad.
won the Brownlow.
Well. But you know what? I did all right. I'm a champion. I won the fucking Brownlow. I'm going to go back to my hometown. I'm going to go back onto the farm. I'm going to jump on the tractor. I'm going to win my 2 Brownlows, mate. And you know what? We are the fucking Navy Blues, eh? We are the Navy Blues. Look at this.
It was 2 dummies having a conversation.
Another year gone.
Another year gone. What was that, Manny? I'm trying to fucking do some humor and you fucking have to get involved. I should have taken you off like I usually do. I'll wait. If we want to get to a point where we're not laughing, we'll wait for your joke.
Hobbit Luke requested that I start playing the violin because he, I agree with him. I was watching 2 dummies having a conversation.
Well, I know who Hobbit Luke is, and he definitely wouldn't have sided with you.
Oh, it doesn't matter. He just he wanted me to play the violin. So, well, there you go.
All right, so you just listen to anyone.
No, I know. I know who.
Anyway, let's go. Yeah, Rocco talking to himself, man. You got to see what I do, mate. So we've all got our tips. All right.
So most people have got the Super Susie 3000. Blow up doll. Rocco's got the James Dean 400.
James Dean.
You leave my mate alone, mate. You leave him right fucking alone, mate. You leave him alone, mate. So me and Cripper here, we're going to just go into the next segment, which is, I'm going to wait for Mark. Mark's always disappearing. But how are you, mate? How's things going? It's all good? It's all good? A big year? Gonna go? We're going to have a big year.
Great year. Thanks for asking me, Rocco. Great year. Yeah, we got 25 points, and I'm really excited. I've got the Brownlow. That's 2 in a row for me. So, yeah, fantastic. Thanks for asking.
Was the little hole in the back there? Did that come with the mannequin, or was that a custom job after you got it?
Well, when you say little hole, let's be serious now, and it's a fucking big hole, mate. It's not a little hole. Let's not fucking underplay this, right? We had to make it a little bit bigger, didn't we, mate? We had to make it just a little bit bigger. I know your face is like you try to keep a straight face, and but we had to make it a little bigger. And Like me and my mate here. Here you go. It's all good. You
Yeah,
enjoy
thanks,
the
yeah,
show?
thanks for asking, yeah. Yeah, man,
Hopefully, Diddy lent you a few bottles of that baby oil he was using, mate.
Nah, mate. We go just straight. Hey, no baby oil for us, mate. We like it. Me and him. So what are we doing after it? We're gonna go.
No, you like Rocco. I'll let you go. Tell me you like.
All right, let's get into yeah, but let's go. Yeah, this has gone a bit rogue here. Mark will be a great. Manny would be. Yeah, I could see his lips move. Mark heading to the Bombers locker room. Yeah, he goes into the Bombers locker room every once in a while just to get a bit of a hit, just to get through the rest of the fucking show, mate. All right, under the pump, last under the pump for the year. Is everyone ready? I'm gonna go last. We'll start. You know what? We'll start where we're going to go. We're going to start Manny. We're going to go from there. We're going to go around that way. Go, Manny. Under the pump question.
Well, my under the pump question is with my friend Mark. And Mark, I wanted to ask you the question: how do you feel, or how have you been feeling over the last couple of weeks with the package really pushing it hard to leave your beloved Bombers?
Oh, look, I think I might have answered this question a couple of weeks ago, Manny, but it's up to the individual player, yeah? It's about him and his interests. If he wants to get 2 years, it's his choice, but I don't think he's going to Collingwood. From what I was being told the last couple of days, Collingwood don't want to get him. He may go to Sydney. I think it probably suits Sydney, but I'd be disappointed if he left the Essendon Football Club for an extra year. I think any player over 30 years should be a 12-month contract, and after that should be on just performance. So if he leaves, good on him. It's for him. 2-year contract, maybe $500,000 a year. But I'd love to still have him at Essendon, forward pocket, for another 12 months. And after that, it just comes down to performance. Get an extra year if you perform.
They actually have to honour. They have to actually honour next year.
Of course, he does. Yeah, he does. Yeah. So obviously, whoever takes him.
I'm saying the club have to honour his next year. They have to honour the package because his
contract for another 12 months. Yeah.
Well, he triggered the clause where they have to give him another 12 months. So he's contracted to. They have to keep him there unless they delist him and pay him out, unless they find a trade for him. But
correct.
They can't just get rid of him, man. Like he has to. Like the club has to keep him for another year. Yeah.
Correct.
But he wants to, doesn't he?
Yeah, he wants. If another club offers him 2 years, then obviously, the Essendon Football Club will be, getting some deal out of that because he's still under contract. It's just like players that, like Petrarca, 5-year contract, was looking at going somewhere else. You know what I mean?
The contract means nothing. But what I mean with this was the end of this year was the end of his contract, but he did trigger a clause that they had to give him this
another
next
12 months.
year. Yeah, or else if he didn't hit that trigger, he would have been a free agent, and they would have just got rid of him. Yeah, but they want to just keep that 1 year that the clause that they triggered, but he wants 2, which is fair enough. What about this quick question? You want him at Richmond?
Fuck no.
Why not? Why?
No, it would make no sense for some Richmond to pick up a guy of his age. Like, we're rebuilding. You're not going to get someone to be there for a year, maybe 2, and then leave again. So you don't. There's no point. We're not at a stage you'd want someone that old.
No, Stringer's not for a Richmond. Stringer, if he goes somewhere, it has to be to a club that's contending for finals, top 4, or grand final. Man, that's the reason a team would get him. He's no good to Richmond. What's he going to do? Like, he's no good.
Where would you put him? Where would you put him? If you're not
Like,
contending,
it could probably
if Richmond are not contending, they're contending to make the finals. So maybe bring someone like a Stringer to Richmond, and they'll contend to make the finals. So
yeah, I don't think Stringer would be the answer. They need a lot more than just Stringer. Like they're losing a lot of players, Richmond, far out. Like they're starting from a low point now. You know, they're right down there. You know, like to me, like all right, you answer it. Who would Stringer be a good pick for? Like you got to be serious. Who?
Yeah, it'd probably be Sydney. I reckon it would be Sydney.
Someone like a Sydney. Gold Coast would be another one, maybe. You know what I mean? Something like that. You'd be one of those teams there.
Back to the Bulldogs. Back to the Bulldogs. Maybe the Bulldogs. I mean, who have they got up forward? I mean, they got a couple up forward.
They got Jamara Norton, Cody Waitman.
Yeah, they got a few, so maybe not the Bulldogs. Collingwood would have been actually a spot for him.
Good fit, yeah.
Yeah, because they need a forward, you know, like really they've got what's his name? The little
Elliot,
Bobby Hill, Jamie Elliott.
They haven't really got, you know, but then they're probably thinking
we got Degoe, we got Myercheck.
Well, Degoe's not a forward. He's like a
but he gets the goals, yeah.
No, not Degoe. What's he got
Carlton?
to do? But what I'm saying is we're probably a fit. Nah, we got too many forwards. Nah, he wouldn't be a fit for us. Like, this is what I mean. Like, if you get a player like
forwards, you're right.
2 years, you've got to fit him into a team that needs that third goal kicker.
Yeah,
because you got the right forwards. Okay.
And that's why I believe he should stay at Essendon, because of that fact that he's only got a couple of years left. Stay at the Bombers, and you know.
But they don't want to give him 2 years. They got other things in mind. That's the problem.
That's the thing. He's a player. He's going to say no, but sometimes you just got to say, yeah, I'll take the 12 months, and that's it. Move on.
Well, if no one offers him anything, right?
He's got no choice.
The right money, he's got no choice but to stay, and he's going to have to take it. And
you know what? You don't want to hold a player that doesn't want to stay. You don't want to hold a player that doesn't want to stay. You don't want to hold a player in your club that doesn't want to stay. You know what I mean? That's
say that, Mark, but there's been plenty that have done it and stayed and had really good years. Like at the end, like Pavley's one. Pavley wanted to leave, but as soon as he couldn't get the trade, he stayed and he's been a good player. Look, they're professional. He'll be a good player. He won't be a good player. I mean, he'll try hard.
Yeah.
Look at Petrarca.
Petrarca's
been talking about leaving. Petrarca was talking about leaving, and at the end of the day,
Petrarca's different. Petrarca's at his peak, mate. You're not going to compare Petrarca to Stringer. And Petrarca's got 5 years under.
But what I'm saying is, but go back to the point that Mark made that, you know, do you want to keep a player at a club if he doesn't want to be there? Now, you know, you're looking at Petrarca. He's a superstar and he's at his peak. But go back to that question: do you want to keep someone who doesn't want to be there? Now, you're under contract. You have to perform.
But the problem is with Petrarca, does anyone really know does he want to stay or go?
No.
This is the problem. It's all just rumors with him. But Stringer has come out pretty much and said, I want 2 years or else, you know, I'm not staying. You know what I mean? He's actually said it. But Petrarca, I'm telling you, it's all fucking just pie in the sky with him. Like, no one really knows what's going on. He hasn't said anything. But he's not going to the best and fairest, apparently. And that's not good signs.
Exactly right. Spot on, Rock. There's Manny's point. He's not even going to the best and fairest. And he's supposed to be their value player that's got 5 years in the contract. So contracts mean nothing anymore, mate. Loyalty means nothing anymore.
We had a big debate about that last night, that what would you give up for Petrarca?
Well, you know, how many years is you got?
Yeah, it depends who you are as well, right? Like where you are as a club.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about Carlton, you know, like what would you give up? Because Petrarca is the point of difference. You put Petrarca in that midfield, he's a bull who goal kicking midfielder who wins you games. You know,
I'll take him.
Yeah, you take him, but then what would you give up for him? Like they're not going to his contract. They're not going to fucking give him for nothing. They're going to want something for him, and they're going to want a good player, Melbourne.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to give up.
Apparently, there's a guy that's coming completely out of space. They reckon that he might end up being the next player of the future. May the force be with you.
We keep hearing like now all the names. Like, do you give up like for a count? I'll do this to the chat with the count because there's rumors of him and Carlton chatting. Who do you give up? Do you give up Walsh? Do you give up TDK? Do you give up Harry Mackay? Like, these are the questions you got to ask, man. Like, and then Quinn's right, mate. It's each team is what do you need? What do you need for your team, mate? Like,
I'd love to see Curnow in black and white. Love to see him in black and white.
He'd be a good fit at Richmond, I reckon. Petrarca, good fit at Richmond because
again, I don't think Richmond. Like, you're going to be paying him a lot. Richmond have to build, mate. Before, like, Petrarca is a player to me.
Build around Petrarca.
Is a player to finish off your side. But you're paying him a lot of money, man, and you're going to give up a lot for him. Like, this isn't a player you just get. Like, he's a player to finish off your side, you know.
That's why he'll probably just stay at Melbourne. He'll stay at Melbourne because no teams are going to give up their drafts and players for him. That's the key.
We'll see. But next week is the silly season, man, and that's when all the shit starts. Go, Marco, your turn. What do you reckon?
Oh, look, guys, I wasn't really prepared for the under the pump. I'm just going to quickly go with Manny. It's not really a under the pump question, but do you believe that?
Who are you talking to?
I don't want to get too involved, but do you believe
that?
Do you believe
Manny?
Oh, sorry, because I was talking to.
Dacos should have won the Brownlow last night. That's it. One question.
Sorry, there was a dummy that interrupted the conversation.
Do you believe that Dacos should have been close enough to win the Brownlow last night? That's the under the pump question. Very simple. Move on. Go from there.
Oh, look, when you end up with 38 points, and to end up not winning a Brownlow, you definitely would be disappointed. Nick has shown professionalism. Yeah, sure, he would have been disappointed to not win, but full credit to Cripps and Cripps, he's a real gentleman, and Cripps turned around and said, it's brilliant to know that I can play against players like you, Nick, that gives us the opportunity to compete and to make this game the game it is. And you can't take anything away from Cripps. He's a captain's captain. He's a gentleman, and he's an inspiration. I like watching Carlton because my wife's is a Carlton supporter and a member, and I like watching those games because he's really inspiring. I mean, I've seen Carlton where they're out of the whole competition, and with 5 minutes to go, he's still pushing the team. He's really, so he's, he deserves it. And you can't take anything away from him. He's, I'm disappointed that Nick didn't win it, but you know what? I reckon Nick's got many, many years to come where I think he will one day win the Brownlow. And and if he doesn't, well, he'll go down in history as a great player and a premiership player for the Magpies.
And again, my apologies for last week, Manny, but happy birthday to you and the missus.
Well, thanks, Marco. I appreciate your kind messages over the phone, buddy. I'll, like usual, Quinn, again, thanks for the kind messages on the phone. But of course, Rocco was busy. Now I know why. He was busy with that other dummy there, so he didn't get a chance to.
I don't send fucking birthday messages. I reckon it's a fucking load of crap.
Fair enough.
Send back. Happy birthday! You get people that you haven't seen for a year, nothing, and all of a sudden they send a happy birthday on Facebook. Oh, well done. That took a lot of fucking effort.
64. Scotty, 64.
Right? And the other thing is with birthdays, I do the Elon Musk. I don't celebrate them because as soon as you celebrate a birthday, you put it in your head that you're another year older.
Are you 64, Manny?
Well, getting there.
He
Are
looks
you
64, but he's not
mate. Don't tell
64.
me 64, buddy.
How old does he look? Be honest. How old does he look?
Oh, you'd be at least in your mid 50s, maybe early 50s.
Yeah. I'm in my mid 50s.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's a good pickup. That's a good pickup.
Yeah, I am in my 50s. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? We'll ask Quinny. Yeah. Go, Quinny. You're next.
All righty. Well, we kind of touched on the similar topic earlier in the show, but Rock, this one's for you. I know earlier the boys grilled you about whether you were a one-man team.
I've got my mate here, mate. We're going to get through this. Let's go.
You've got your one-man team standing next to you there. But no, like in the last few years, obviously Carlton have been thereabouts, have been playing good footy. They've won 2 Colemans now, 2 Brownlows in the last 4 or 5 seasons. What if you had to say one, and I'm only giving you one missing piece of the puzzle that would just what would you go is the first one that you think of?
All right. It's pretty simple, right? Fucking hell. We were kind of discussing this, what would bring it like. We thought like, really, we win 13 games. I mean, we had a lot of injuries. Could we won a couple more games all of a sudden? We're close to top 4. So I don't think we need too much, right? But that one missing link, right? One player that we don't need. Can I give first player that we don't need?
Yeah, and just before you do, I want to apologise. Scotty Tompkins has pointed out there was 3 Coleman medals. So I forgot Harry won one as well. So apologies, Scotty. But yes, you're right. 3 Coleman medals.
2 Coleman, 3 All Australians. We got fucking 2 Brownlows, and yet we made 1 prelim, so not good enough. One player we don't need is Dan Houston. I hope we don't get Dan Houston, right? This is the one player I don't want because we've got 3 of them. We don't need another one. Yeah, he's a good one, but is that what we need? No. You know what we need? We need Petrarca. We need Petrarca. That's who we need. We need another outside mid. We need someone like a Petrarca, a Horn Francis. I think we need an outside mid who's going to help Cripper and also elevate Walsh. We've got the forwards. You're just going to give me one player, are you? Like one position?
Yes.
Yeah, just I know there's a few you could pick, but just one.
If you give me just one, it would be a midfielder, and it would be Petrarca at the moment, or someone like an outside midfielder. I would also like a small forward.
Nick Dacos.
Yeah.
Nah. Yeah. No, I don't want Nick Dacos. I would take Petrarca over Nick Dacos every day of the week, and I would take actually a Horn Francis in front of Nick Dacos.
Or Reid. Harley Reid, no.
Harley Reid will be good. He's good for the future. Like he's definitely good. Like he's a long, and he's going to be someone like a Petrarca, I reckon, one day.
His missus is Xavier Dersma's sister. So maybe Red might come over to the Bombers eventually.
She plays for the Blues.
Yeah.
Plays for the Blues, yeah. But her brother.
That's a good answer. What about you, Rocco? What's your opinion
about what?
That was a good answer. Was that you, Rocco? That was answering that question. I thought it was your mate next to you.
Both of us, mate. We work as a team here. Me and fucking Cripper here, mate. We're working as a fucking team. And as I said, Cripper and Petrarca. Can you imagine that midfield? And you put Walsh then in there, and you got TDK running through the middle. I think that's the move we need. We definitely need to look for. I think we go into the draft and we look for we go to draft early, and to me, it's getting a midfielder, man. So, but there's not many out there that are available.
No.
Well, that's the next problem.
You've got to build within, But I'm telling you, the Petrarca deal isn't dead and buried yet.
No, exactly.
I'm telling you, you watch next week how this is going to explode, and I believe Petrarca's going somewhere. I just don't know where.
They reckon that you might be going to work with
Tassie.
Peter P. Ramsey, apparently he's really good chef. Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
Apparently he's a really good chef, really good cook.
Nah, Carlton will get him. Carlton's got enough money, mate. They got enough.
It's not about the money, man. It's because he's contracted, Mark. It's about what are you going to give up to get him? You know what I mean? And it's going to have to be a big. And I'm telling you, we had a serious discussion.
Clubs will have to pay out the contract. The club will have to pay out the contract.
Don't worry about it because like you said, they'll pay them. They'll find the money. That's this money is all bullshit, man. They do front end, back end, middle end, upside down. They work out the money. That's not the issue, right? The issue is trying to get him over, and because Melbourne are going to want the deal. They're going to want a good deal out of it. So you're either going to, there's going to have to be some sort of draft pick there, and then they're going to want somebody.
Of course, they'll want Curnow. They'll want Curnow. If you
they don't want Curnow, you got no idea what they'll want someone like a Harry Mackay or a TDK. These are the questions we're asking. Would you give up TDK for him?
Harry Mackay, you reckon? Fair enough.
Well, he was the one that was fucking.
Who would you give up for him, Rocco? Who would you give up for?
And I because Mars reckons he would give up TDK for him. I said I wouldn't. And I wouldn't give up Harry. But then if you're going to give up somebody, like if I had to,
you have to give up at least 3 players. 3 players.
Just say you tie me up now, right?
Yeah.
And I have to give up somebody, and it has to be someone of value. So it can't be like a Chera, or it has to be the high quality.
Yeah.
Cribs.
For our team, no, they wouldn't take Cribs. For our team, to win a premiership, I would give up Harry Mackay.
Yeah, they want more than that. That would want more than that, mate. Come on.
They want more than Harry, mate. They want Curnow, mate. They want Curnow. They want Charlie.
Would take Harry straight away.
We need a Curnow, mate.
They need a help in the run. Nah. Harry had a better year than Curnow. What are you talking about?
They want Charlie, mate. Charlie's he can play everywhere.
What would you know, Manny? They want Charlie. What the fuck would you know? Like, what would you know?
Because I've just answered your question, Rocco. Rocco, I've just answered your question, Rocco. I've just answered your question,
Shut up, Manny, with your ridiculousness tonight.
Just answer your question, Rocco.
The weatherman.
Listen to me. The question was to me, right? The question was to me, and the question was, who is just a dumbass from a reservoir give up? That was the question. There was no other. There was no other fucking adding on to it. Right? I wouldn't give up any of them. I said if you're twisting my arm and I had to give up one player, it would be Harry Mackay to fit in Petrarca into our side. Right? That's
you're not being realistic.
That's the fucking question.
You're not realistic.
No,
you're not realistic.
About? He's one
you're
of the
just picking one player. You're picking one player. You're not being realistic about it, mate. Pick another 1 or 2 players as well.
Oh my God. Mark, listen, we're not going to go over this again, right? The question was, we had this discussion 2 weeks ago with you. You don't listen, right?
Yeah, I'm listening.
The question was simple, right? The question was this. What one player, open your ears, would you give up? That was the question. Now what you've done is you've added more to it. After I've answered it, you've added more to it. Shut up, Manny. Shut up. You've added more to it, right? And you try to put me under the bus. That's what you've done. The question was simple.
No.
It's simple.
You're a fucker.
You could have picked a fucking dummy.
We're just no fucking idea.
What's that?
He's just you must be schizophrenic, mate.
Manny, what was the question? What was the question?
I know, but did you what Mark?
What was the question?
I know that, Rocco. I know that, but Mark then follow up by saying that to that question. Mark then follow up by saying that he doesn't believe that.
It doesn't matter what he believes, and it doesn't matter what you believe. The question was simple.
Is he not allowed to put his expressions in?
No, the question was asked to me. What would you give up? And then what you did was you fucking hell. This happened last week, Manny. I fucking
Yeah.
warned you, mate. I warned you about this shit,
But
right?
that's the same question. Rocco,
No,
that's the
it's
same.
okay.
That's the
It's
same
okay for us
question
to
you
also get
asked
a little bit
me. You
involved.
asked me the same question. You asked me the same question.
Give up one player for Petrarca.
Stringer.
But that's what I said. But then what you did was you go, oh, that's like me now saying,
You're telling me
you've got to give up
your
six
feedback.
players.
Your feedback is important. Your feedback is
Yeah.
important to tell me what.
No,
what is
but
it like? Come
no,
on,
but
you know,
then the question would have been, Mark. The
many
question would
players?
have been the question would have been, what would you give up, and what would you have to give up to get Petrarca? That's the question, right? But you go, what one player do you want to give up? I
didn't say one
answer
player.
it.
I didn't say
I
one player.
answer it. And then you
didn't
go,
say one
oh,
player.
no.
No,
Like,
okay, but
think
you get
about what you're saying.
But that's okay. But Rocco, I understand your question, and I agree with what you're saying. But then Mark was just saying that, you know, Harry, you know, you because you can remember something. I know that Harry's had a better year.
Stop.
Quinn.
Why do we do
Would
this?
you give
Why
up
do we
for,
do this?
Petrarca?
Why are you such an imbecile? The
Because you have a
question
bad
was
habit. You're a schizophrenic.
can't-
You don't
you
listen to
can't give
anybody.
me- Manny, you can't give me a question. I answer it, right? And then you go into another round and then try to make me look like.
Mark asked the question. Mark asked the question. I was merely trying to.
So why do you get involved?
Well, Mark was asking the question, and he asked the question 3 times, and then the third time you turned around and said that Harry has had a better season than Curnow, and then all I turned around and said is,
I don't want to go over this now. This isn't a fucking courtroom where I got to hear what the transcript was of the
you should
conversation.
be getting upset then.
Judge Jury.
He asked what one player, it was Quinny that said, what would you give up? I said, this is what I need. And then the question was the one player you would give up. And I emphasized, I said one player. Then it was, yes, one player. All right. If I had to give up one player.
I said,
and
who
then
would
you
you
went
give
on to
up?
your fucking rants.
I said, who would you give up? I said, who would you give up? I didn't say one player. I wouldn't have said that. Said
the one, I said one player. And I said to you, so one player. Give up one player.
All right, Rocco. All right. Okay.
Hey,
okay.
Quinn,
You're
who would you give up? Who would you give up for Petrarca?
If I had to give one player, firstly, I wouldn't want Petrarca.
Who would you give up for Petrarca?
See, and this is the whole thing. He said that. That's what I said, and you said nothing. Now you're changing, and now you're going, no. Who do we give up? This is what I mean. You've got to be precise with your questioning.
I am. Quinn, who would you give up for Petrarca? You could say 3 players. You could say 1 player. You could say 10 players.
We don't have 3 players to give at the moment. They're all fucked off already, so I got no one to give. But Lynch would be someone I would include in the deal, and then it depends who we've got left, to be honest with you. But Lynch I would put in there because I need a forward.
Those boys still staying? Like, who's those boys that are looking at moving on? Who? Not Tambling, Richard Tambling.
Yeah, Richard Tambling. I think he might stay on 1 more year. Richard Tambling. I think Wayne Campbell re-signed last year.
Who's the other 2 players that are looking at moving on? Shea Bolton.
Bolton, Rioli, Baker. They're all.
Are they leaving? Are they gone? Or
they've requested trades. They haven't moved yet. But
maybe they might trade those 3 players plus Lynch for Petrarca.
No, but they've already requested where they want to go, mate. Like they haven't officially done it, but they want to go interstate.
Now the players are requesting where they're going to go. What's this game coming to? The club should say, right, you're going here for that. Not
no, but go. No, but you can't say that, Mark, because what happens is, like if you've got a player, a much-loved player, let's be serious, and they want to leave for reasons they want to go back home for family or something, you're going to try to accommodate them.
Of course,
what they'll do is, now what they'll say is, where does Rioli want to go? Does he want to go Gold Coast?
Yeah.
Right, so he says, I want to go to Gold Coast. Now, Richmond are going to try to make a deal. Why would they try to be dogs and go, no, you're going to go where we say, they're going to try to accommodate a triple premiership player and say, rightio, right, what can we do to finish off this deal, and get the best possible deal for both of us,
Yeah.
I think that's what
they might get a better deal somewhere else where they feel that, for the club, they might benefit going somewhere else and saying, no, you're going over there for that trade player. You know what I mean? Like, the players have got too much. You've got too much control now these days.
Are they contracted players, Quinny?
Rioli is, and so is Bolton. Liam Baker's the only one that's not contracted.
Yeah, so they make a decision, either you stay here, and that's like the Stringer thing. But if Stringer goes, I want to go to like Collingwood, right? What's Essendon going to do?
But why keep a player at your club that wants to go? So it kind of
happens every year.
Yeah, but it doesn't benefit the club, does it really? Because the player doesn't want to stay there. So he wants to go to Collingwood. So then Essendon's going to go, all right, I'll take that player for that player, and you can go to Collingwood. It doesn't.
No, but it doesn't always happen like that, because that happened with Papley. Like Papley wanted to come to Carlton, and in the last minute they couldn't make a deal, and he ended up staying. So at the end of the day, the club still got the power not to do the deal.
Correct. Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
But they're going to try to make a deal. So if, for example, the Gold Coast are going to want him, right? They're going to try to work out a deal. They're going to say, right, we want like 2 first rounders. We want this year. We want next year's first rounder. Maybe we want to play in return. Maybe you give us a first rounder and we'll give you back a fucking pick 22 or whatever they do. But what I'm saying is they're going to try to accommodate the player. And you've got to understand there's also goodwill between teams. Like you have goodwill between like recruiting officers, right?
Well, Essendon Carlton pretty much, we're pretty close, mate. We recruit a lot of we trade a lot of players in the last probably 10, 15 years.
I reckon we traded a few, but I reckon
we got Scott Compariale.
Yeah, but that was years ago. I mean, the only one. Nah, but that was years ago. But and they were at the end of their career. The only one was Sard, and you ended up getting pick. What'd you get? Pick fucking like
nothing.
High pick, really. Pick 6, pick 7. You got a high pick for it.
Yeah.
And then who'd you pick up with him?
But that was the year that Sard wasn't Sard out of contract, but then Essendon got all this compensation for an out of contract player or something like that. Yeah. Anyway,
let's move on. Oh, everyone asked a question. Now, this is how you do it, right? This is how you ask a question, right? Now, when I ask you the question, I'm not going to go into and expect like an answer that wasn't relevant to the question, right? I'm going to ask you a question, and that's it. This is to all 3 of you, right? This is simple. Listen, open up your ears, right, and listen. Where will your club finish next year? Where do you think your club will finish next year?
17th.
17th?
Yeah.
I think we'll finish 6th next year.
6th.
I think we'll win the flag.
I'm writing all this down, mate.
Yeah, we've got it all on fucking record here. It's all been on thing. That's how you do questions. Simple.
Yeah, well, you had to ask it twice.
You going to ask a question, Rocco?
That was my question, you dumbass.
Oh, was that you? Sorry, I thought it was your mate next to you.
Where are you going to finish, what do you think you're going to finish?
We're doing an extra. We're going to do an extra question, are we?
Well, no, we've already answered the question. Well, how about you? What do you think about your team?
That was my question.
Oh, was that the under the pump question?
Are you not allowed? Are you not allowed to?
Are you? So you want to do extra questions?
No, I'm just asking the question. Don't you want to tell us what you
under
think
the
about
pump
your
is
team?
one question each, and I've
answered
it. You should have used it as an under the pump, Manny. Like, what do you want to do? You want to have your fucking cake and eat it too? Like, what do you want?
Can I ask a second under the pump?
It's done. Under the pump is done, mate.
Yeah, Rocco
You should
didn't
have
have to
thought
answer the
about it.
question.
You got 7 days to think of a question.
I did.
All right, then what do you want?
I've already put the question.
All right, that's it. What do you want more?
Well, just to make it a bit more fun.
No, it is fun. I'm having lots of fun. We're having heaps of fun here.
Have you done your joke yet, Manny?
No, it's about to happen now. So we're up to
I've got a joke.
Manny. We're up to Manny. Please make us. I've now renamed it to Manny. Please make me laugh, because the last 3 weeks have been like.
One for me, Manny. Let me dancing the boys out here.
Well, you know, once the this is not the joke yet, but once the AFL is over, we've got the NFL that is already kicked in its I think its second or third week. I want to say a big hello to my mate Adam Gotsis, who plays American football, and he's just left from the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he's got himself a new contract with the Indianapolis Colts. So, g'day, Adam, all the way from Melbourne.
Adam. I'm sure he's watching.
Well, believe it or not, he does watch the show every now and then, Rocco. There you go.
Well, and how you going, Adam? Are these 2 bananas coming on the 20th? Well, I'm going to send out an invitation. They're going to give us a time that they want to rock up, and then, they can come in.
I'll have to get
the ball. Quinny's going to come.
I'll have to get my people to talk to your people, Rocco, and we'll see what we can do, man.
I will not talk to your people, right? So this is what we're going to do. You're going to let me know if you want to come, and I'll decide if I let you even give you the address.
I'll get. I already know the address.
No, you don't, because we're not doing it here.
I know that.
Ooh.
I'll let your people talk to my people.
How do you know the address? If you know that, where are we doing it?
I'm not going to disclose that. It's not my job to
disclosed
disclose
it last night. We disclosed it last night. If you, again, are you lying to our viewers? What's the address, man? Not the address, sorry. Where are we doing it?
I wrote it somewhere. I can't remember.
Oh, you wrote it somewhere.
Yeah.
Shut up. Why do you lie to the viewers?
I'm not lying.
Such a lie.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you saying, you know what, Matty, we're not doing it at Reservoir this year. We're actually going to do it another location.
I said to you, we're not doing it here. And you go, I know where you're doing it. And I said, where are we doing it? And you go, oh, I wrote it down. Like, where is it? Where are we doing it? Where are we doing it? Where are we doing it?
I thought you were doing it at Reservoir.
But you just said, I know you're not doing it there. And so you're lying again. Where are we doing it? Do you know or you don't know?
You're doing it at Reservoir.
No, we're not. So you don't know.
I don't know.
That's all. See how easy it is? You know what Judge Judy once said? If you don't lie, you don't need a good memory, right? So just don't lie, Manny, right?
We're doing it.
You do. You lie in every instant you can find. Last week you lied. Last week you lied like 2-3 times in a row. All right.
Listen, just tell us where you're fucking going to do it, okay?
So I'll decide. There's no management talk here. I'll decide if I want you there. We're doing it at Mars's house. So we're going to set up at Mars's house, right? And I'll decide.
What suburb is that?
That's none of your business until I decide who I'm going to invite. Right? So I know I'm inviting Quinny. I'm going to invite Mark. I'm not talking to your people. Your people are a bunch of fucking, this is your people. Bunch of bananas, right? So your people, I'll decide if you want to come.
All right. Fair enough.
Manny will be there, mate. Manny will be there, mate. Don't worry about that.
All right. Okay. So now
let's get into Manny, please make me laugh.
All right. My joke is very, very short, but I think it's going to be a funny one.
That's what she said.
What is the definition? What is the definition of a diaphragm?
What is the definition of a diaphragm?
No, what is it?
A trampoline for dickheads.
Fucking hell. We'll leave it to the audience to just give us how was that, guys?
I think it's fantastic.
Well, Lana's laughing, so
That's a good one.
Thank you very much.
I like that, Manny.
I like
I
it.
think it's great. I think it's great.
7 out of
Man,
10. That's all right.
7 out of 10. All right. Do you want me to do Rocco make me laugh? I've got a joke.
Go on, Rocco.
All right. We'll finish off on a good note, right? There was a bloke. He was an actor, and they were doing a movie, and it involved a lion, a real live lion. So he gets in there, and there's a real live lion, and the cameraman, he's in a cage, right, filming, and the lion's like running around, and he's got to be worried, He's thinking, my God, well, there's a live lion here, right? And he goes, are we sure? And he's talking to the blokes, and he goes, are we sure that this lion's going to be all right and not bloody attack me, And he goes, no, it'll be all right. He goes, what we do is before we start the film, we get the lion to have sex. And then at least it's not Randy, And he goes, look, to tell you the truth, I don't care about the sex part. I'm more worried about like the eating part. And he goes, and what we do is we feed it before we film. We don't feed it too much because we don't want it to fall asleep. So we feed it enough so it's not going to eat you. And he goes, all right. He goes, and then he goes, what we're going to do is we're going to be filming uphill. He'll be downhill. Lion can't be bothered running up the hill, so you should be fine. And he goes, well, is there a precaution? Because what happens if the lion does start chasing me? He goes, well, if the lion starts chasing you, what you got to do is you got to reach behind, you got to grab some shit, and you got to throw it at the lion's face. And the bloke goes, all right. He goes, where am I going to get the shit from? And he goes, don't worry, it'll be there.
Oh, that's a good one, Rocco. Well done. I like it.
Right, good one. 10 out of 10. Oh, we're getting a few laughs. I reckon we finished off on a good one.
Yeah.
So that was good. All right. This has been fun. Let's go through. Just remember, we're still getting the ha-ha, so we're good. I think we finished all right. So it's been great. It's been a big year. It's been a big year for all of us. It's been really good. Thanks everyone for joining in. Thanks for the chat. Everyone getting involved, man. It's been really good this year. The show's grown huge this year. Thanks to all the sponsors, fucking Court, and thanks, mate, for coming on board and making this what it is. What else? I'd like to thank everyone for coming on. Thank me for all the work I do. I'd like to thank myself, but also I'd like to thank you three guys. You've been great this year. So it's been definitely, I think everyone's been entertained this year. We're slowly getting better at it, I reckon. Next year we've got some bigger and better things, I reckon. We'll improve. We'll improve more. And that's it. You guys got anything to say before we sign off?
No, I've said it before. I think, thanks to everyone that watches every week. I know it's a mission, especially the ones that jump on multiple times a week, Rock, on your channel. So much appreciated. Thank you for all the love across on Tiger Den as well from a lot of you people that have jumped across, and it was nice meeting a whole bunch of you as well at the live show earlier this year. So it's been a great year.
Spot on there, Quinn, and look, it's always good when we have our moments, and of course, when Rocco goes on that freakish rant, ideally we'd like to be able to have a psychiatrist or a psychologist on standby to be able to give him a bit of a recovery, maybe a couple of slaps over the face. But on a serious note, it's something that we all love to do, and we have. Over the last 2 years, we've actually met quite a few people, some great personalities, and I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of the year. And I look forward to seeing everyone in 2025 with the Mighty Pies as the premiership winners.
Marco?
Yeah, boys, thank you very much, mate. It's been a pleasure. Great banter, great fun. We enjoyed every Wednesday coming on at 7:30. Viewers have been fantastic. Like I said, it's been a pleasure, boys. I really appreciate it. I've made some really good friends as well throughout the year, the last couple of years, actually. And just let's keep sane. Let's keep going. Keep the banner going. Keep the Fourever rivals going. And let's see how we go next season. But I'm gonna go on the end of the night, mate, and go the mighty bloody Bombers, mate, next year. For fuck's sake, we need it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big start. You know what? Look, every year starts, man. Optimism by everyone. Everyone's going to be excited in the next couple of weeks with trades and all that. But the main thing is, I think for us and everyone, I definitely need a break. All the people get involved in like trades and that. I try to clear the mind. I don't want to think about footy because it wears you out the whole year, you know. But this has been really good, guys. We've had a good time. Yeah, as I said, a few headaches, few stress pills we take, but I think it's a good let out every Wednesday. And yeah, we'll be back next year. We'll be back. And to answer your question, top 4 for the Blues next year. I just got
There it is.
Of course, mate. It doesn't take long for you to get pumped up again for the new year, man. So top 4, optimism, couple new players, as I said, a bit of a like a new start, and then bang, mate. The year before you know it, man, we'll be back on here doing this show again at the start the season off. You watch. Yeah, don't forget to like. As I said, the main thing is everyone that's been joining in every week. Thanks, guys. Mate, seriously, you've been really good. The chat, the likes, the share. As I said, the channel will keep on going. There's going to be other shows there. Rocco and Andy Unfiltered will be, I think, a big show. We've got the 24-hour stream. We've got the other stuff. Keep up with the socials. And, yeah, let's do this. Hey?
Love it. Go Tigers.
Go the Bombers!
Go the Blues!